Hello there, guys, and welcome back to my channel for, well, what I hope is two people that you can hear, because myself and Pice just had some issues before we actually went live, and him hearing me and me hearing him. And also, we should be joined by Con and Clutch reasonably soon, hopefully soon. As you can see, we also don't have our usual thumbnails going. Don't know what's happening with graphics guy. Might have fallen asleep. Well, just a typical day in the life of a Chelsea fan, really. You can't even be angry anymore. You can't even cry anymore. You just have to laugh. Like, we get Joao Felix on loan with a big loan fee, relatively big wages, without an option to buy. And in his first game, looks actually good, by far our best player. And then gets sent off less than an hour in, and is now potentially suspended for 3 games, missing nearly a month of his whole 5.5-month loan. Isn't that amazing? And then we obviously go on to lose the game because our goalkeeper can't do shit, our defenders can't do shit, our attackers can't do shit. I mean, once we were a man down, you know, as much as we are already awful anyway, but even if we were not awful, being down to 10 men, were we ever going to score against Fulham? Felt like we weren't. But yeah, what can you say? Willian scored against us, and Willian looked a million times better than Kai Havertz and Mason Mount combined. My God, what even are we? Where even are we? Like, it's crazy. And to top it all off, what I haven't even mentioned yet, we picked up another injury to our only midfielder that's actually playing like an actual footballer, because everyone else looks like, well, not even an impersonator, just a clown, really. All they're missing is the clown shoes. Zakaria is now injured. That looked relatively serious, in my opinion. The way the knee, slipped and then gripped and then he walked off. Oh, my God. And now we went back to the back three. Why did we even go back to the back three? It's not like we were any better. And if we were willing to go back, I prefer the back four. Everyone knows this. But my issue with it now is if we were willing to go back from the back four again to the back three, why didn't we do it against City? I know second half against City, but surely if you're going to be a bit more pragmatic, defensive, look out for stability, surely you do it against City and not against Fulham then. I don't understand any of this. I don't understand the subs, why they didn't happen earlier. I don't understand anything. Honestly, I mean, Potter isn't to blame for a lot of this today, but still some of it in a way. But obviously it's not his fault that Joao Felix gets himself sent off, man. Oh, my God, Pice. Are you in a similar boat to me? Is it gone past anger now? Is it just got to laugh about it at this point? Because, I mean, this was the most typical Chelsea evening game I can ever imagine. The fact that our debutant, our supposedly attacking Xavier, gets sent off and potentially suspended for 3 games. My days. What's happening, bro? What are you saying?
Not even sad anymore. I mean, I'm not even angry anymore. I'm very sad. I'm not even angry. I don't know what to say. I just give up. I give up. I tweeted life is not real because, I had a bit of excitement. Felix coming in, he was looking really good, and then does his Diego Simeone style tackle, gets sent off. I knew it was a sending off as soon as he did it. Even if, it wasn't the worst connection, but you still can't go up that high. It's a sending off. Mount and Havertz just don't have eyes. The defense is absolutely shocking. What do you really say? I don't know what to say. I'm genuinely nearly lost for words now. Yeah, I don't even think we played that bad, to be honest. It was just individual mistakes, and players not being able to execute a final pass or execute a final shot. There was loads of chances we had tonight. Really, Kepa on the second goal. I mean, easy thing to blame Graham Potter, but I don't know where to go here. I don't, chopping and changing managers is not going to solve anything. Season is what it is. I'm past the anger, to be honest. It's just a big sigh and just I don't know. Horrible.
No, it's genuinely. I feel the same, mate. Like, you saw Joao Felix, the pass from, I can't remember who it came from, but it had a lot of power on it. The touch wasn't amazing. He tried to control it as well as he could. He chases after it because obviously the ball was a bit loose. Tackle flies into the tackle, doesn't get the ball, does pull his leg back before, and did the contact. I mean, was incredibly minimal. The guy probably didn't even feel the contact. But as you say, if the studs are that high up, now obviously in a different time of football, it's probably not a red card because he clearly went after the ball, barely touched the guy. There's clearly no intention of malice here. But nowadays, if the studs are up and it's above the ankle, well, then you're going to get sent off. You're going to get sent off. Clutch, thank you for joining us. Again, Con should be, hopefully, joining us relatively soon. Clutch, same with you, that you're just past the point of anger at this point because, I mean, you can't even write it. Like, even Ted Lasso will think this sounds too scripted, what's happening here at the moment.
I mean, it seems like there's a curse somewhere, right? I mean, I don't think I've ever been angry per se, but it's always been like, for me, I've always had this, whenever I think about all the stuff that's happening with Chelsea, I'm just like, it's just like, of course, like every team I ever support seems to go down this route at some point. It's kind of crazy. I mean, for me, if you don't laugh, you cry. So I just sit here and I kind of make jokes about things. It's just a bad time to be a fan, man. I mean, it's just, there's not much to say. I mean, how likely is it that you sign a player, Armand, of course, but that player tends to be your best player, and then he gets sent off that game? Like,
first ever time it's happened for Chelsea debutant ever.
Yeah, it's just you get to that point.
Someone should have put a bet on this. What's crazy to happen next? Trying to think. Kepa to score an own goal. I mean, probably.
I don't know. A World War I bomb goes off on the Stamford Bridge or something.
Fucking hell.
I mean, because
literally. Like...
How have we even got to a situation where Zakaria is all of a sudden at PM? How's that happened?
Then he gets injured. Oh my god.
I'm lost, genuinely lost for words.
Same, bro. I don't really know what to say in the stream, to be honest. I'm just
we can sit here and lose our mind and be angry. Oh, we lost again, and 7 defeats in 9 is unacceptable. Sure, it is, and all of this is awful. But my God, my God, what can you do? We have 11 injuries. We have one acceptable midfield at the moment, and he gets injured on top of everything that's just happened. We sign a player, actually looks okay, even though someone said if it was Ziyech, Havertz, or any of the other, and they missed the amount of chances Felix missed today, then we would be crucifying them. And to be honest, true. But the reason is, how often do you see them get this many in one game? So that's why we let him off for now. Does it scream Timo Werner? A little bit, but give him a bit more time before we call him that. Do you know what I mean? But maybe we should just call him. Who else got himself stupid red cards every now and again? I feel like Chelsea haven't really had a tendency to have players that get themselves stupid red cards. Did Jay Drogba, maybe? He loved this stupid red card.
Hazard red card versus Swansea. I was reminding me of that.
But that one's stupid. That was fully justified, and I'm only sad he didn't kick the twat harder. Genuinely, what a twat that kid was. Anyway, but my God, where do I start? I mean, we have over 400 people watching. That's great. Thank you for tuning in, even if some of you are here just to take the piss. I don't know. But if you're here, I appreciate you. Subscribe if you haven't already. That'd be massively appreciated. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. Every new subscriber counts, so please hit that big red subscribe button down below for me. And don't miss any future streams. And hit the like button as well. It doesn't cost you any money. It doesn't cost you any time. And it really does help me out spread these videos out to more people. It's literally one click of a button. Please do hit the like button down below. Before I bring up the team, let me actually highlight the super chat here. Todd has to admit he got it wrong. This has to stop.
Got what wrong? Potter? What's sacking Potter going to do different now?
The timing of it.
That was bad. Really. That was bad. But I think it's people are like, well, if you get rid of Potter, this all ends. I'm sorry, it doesn't. It continues. It probably even gets worse. I'm going to be real. So, it's not the best decision to begin with.
I know we sit here and we say everything's bad, but there comes a point where it doesn't get worse. Do you know what I mean? That point does come. The only question is how much of it is down to injuries and how much of it is down to other things. But My God, they apparently had save the season talk yesterday, and you only included the old players. I thought we were trying to focus on the young players. So why wouldn't any of the young players be involved in that conversation? What even happened to Chalobah between the end of the start of the World Cup and now? Who is he and what has he done to Chalobah? Because that ain't the Chalobah we saw before the World Cup. What the fuck is he doing? It's an outrage. It's a genuine outrage. But, Pice, does any bit of you think and agree with Luis Garcia's comment here?
I mean, I don't know. A little bit. I mean, we can all agree the timing was stupid, to be honest. I mean, I mean, they obviously don't think that because otherwise they wouldn't have done it. But I don't know how they don't think that. I mean, Graham Potter, since his first big job, he's got kind of pretty much none of his own players apart from Cucurella, who he's not even playing at the moment. And you bring him in when we're already kind of in a lot of shit. I mean, you just look at our pre-season, how bad that was with Tuchel. I mean, and by the way, I said this, whether people agree with me or not, don't really care. I saw it on their faces. Every single one of them, when they went into training, the day that Tuchel went, that was not a squad that looked like, they were eager for the manager to go, no matter what was happening. So, yeah, I think they got the timing massively wrong. The appointment, no, I mean, I wouldn't have wanted Pochettino. If they ever bring that guy to my club, I generally don't know what I would do. I absolutely hate that guy, just from his past affiliations, and I think he's massively overrated. I think Potter can do really well here, but can he stick out the pressure? I don't know. We thing is though, like, a lot of fans, or actually a minority of fans, will take in the context. The match-going fans, like tonight, you saw it again. Tuchel chants, Roman chants. They don't care. They just want to win. They unless there's like 10-year-olds on the pitch, they expect to win. So especially against Fulham, which I mean, it's fair enough. But at the same time, I mean, if you actually look at the goals, I mean, it's just pathetic. And I tweeted out Felix, like, he looked so good on the ball, so technical, and then we get to play it off to Mount or Havertz, and then everything just gets messed up. Azpi down the side. I mean, Jesus Christ, help me. I mean, yeah, there's so much that needs to change with the squad. So much. It's just literally embarrassing. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, I agree, mate. And I mean, EPL Tap in the chat says, can we stop discussing Thomas Tuchel in your stream? I'm bored to death on this topic. And I get that. The problem is, the Tuchel comes up because of the form that we're in, which then therefore leads to a manager conversation, and then therefore the old manager gets mentioned. But like, my question to you was, is there any bit of you that feels it's right? And if I'm honest, at this point, I'm not the majority of me, and the majority still comprehends and understands, well, number one, the context, and number two, the circumstances, and number three, that what will get better. Who would we get? Who would want to come if you've gone through two managers in the space of 6 months? But a little bit of me does feel like, I don't know. I don't know if you can fix it. I don't know how long it's going to take to fix it. Someone said we're going to go down or something like that. Hey, we are staying up. We are staying up. But then we lost anyway. My God. I have two more super chat. I mean, Peter, actually. Sorry. Hey, y'all. We are at risk of not staying in the league. No, mate. We are staying up. Isn't that fun? Hey, if we got relegated, we might win some games in the Championship. Look at Newcastle. They got relegated. Now they're in the top four. An extremely naive miscalculation from him. Miscalculation, whatever you call it. I mean, it's, again, I don't want to get into the whole Tuchel debate again, like EPL Turf earlier mentioned. I think, weirdly, what's his name? Goldbridge. What's his first name again? Mark Goldbridge said it right in a clip that I've seen of him, that Tuchel essentially sacked himself. Obviously, we can take what we want from those Simon Jordan comments, the former Palace owner, and you see the guy on TalkSport. We can take off that what we will. The guy loves a waffle, so I'm not just going to take his word for it. But Tuchel essentially sacked himself, according to what we know. Like, if the owners and the manager don't get on, no matter how good the manager is, it's never going to work out. Like, no matter how hot a girl is, if you don't get on with her, you're not going to date her for 10 years, are you? Like, it's not going to happen. No matter what anyone wants and what is better or what is worse. I mean, it's never going to happen. Oh, my God. I mean, let's bring up the team quickly. And see what we made of that. Now, off the ball, it was kind of a 3-5-2. On the ball, it was kind of a 3-4-3. A man pushed up here, and then I don't know where the flip Kovacic was. He was just nowhere today, to be honest. And maybe Pice will disagree with this, but I thought Kovacic was one of our worst players today. Absolutely awful. So it doesn't call it a 3-5-2, call it a 3-4-3. Does it fucking matter? No, it doesn't. But what did you make of the team, Pice? Clutch, sorry, I'll start with you. Do you see my disappointment? The fact that if we were willing to go away from the back four again anyway, why do it against Fulham and not against City? Like, if you're going to just, defensively more stable, this and that. Someone said 4-4-3. If you're going to try to go for more defensively stable and this and that, and, we don't have Reece James, so we can't play four at the back. Why now? Why not against City? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the part I don't understand. I even understand that in the current situation with injuries, with pressure, with results, that he needed to maybe try something and change something and go to the back three or whatever. But I don't understand why, if he was willing to do it, why he didn't do it against City already. That's the part I don't get.
I think it was just the opportunity of having Joao Felix, who he believes to be that second striker type character. And obviously, it goes to show you, he doesn't trust Aubameyang. He clearly doesn't trust Fofana at the moment to be the starter, at least. And all that brings it back to is, why don't you just switch it to the back three? And without wingers, I agree. You probably should switch it back to a back three. Get that little bit of defensive stability. I mean, you don't have Sterling or Pulisic, so it doesn't really matter if you have those wingers who are going to be more dynamic in those positions, because they're not there, so it doesn't matter. So you use the back three. Your width is going to be created from Azpi. You're protecting Azpi, even though he's not going to be very good going forward. You're protecting him in a tiny sense. You're able to put Hall a little bit further forward to kind of help him without having to do a lot of the defensive work. So it makes sense in why they didn't do it against City. It's probably just specifically because they didn't have Joao Felix at that time. Joao Felix is the key to all of this.
But I don't think Joao Felix is the sole and main reason why the 3-5-2. Maybe they thought with Joao Felix we can still attack reasonably well in a 3-5-2. Maybe that I can see that. But I don't think he's the reason, now we're going to play 3-5-2 because Joao Felix allows this. I don't see that.
I don't think he's the sole reason, but I think, like you said, I don't think he's the sole reason, but he is a contributing factor among other things. Because you're not going to play a 3-5-2 without Joao Felix. It would be stupid. Who are you going to put there? Aubameyang? No. Fofana? No.
I mean, you clearly it's stupid now, so from that perspective.
Joao Felix looked better. Havertz,
but we didn't see
looked better.
Another formation yet, so we don't know what he would have looked like in another formation.
Yeah, but you don't have the players to play wide, like you would have a Sterling or a Pulisic to play a winger. So, that
we
just
didn't
helps
care
a
about
little.
that against City, did we? And we played Chukwuemeka there, and he was all right. So, do you know what I mean? I honestly don't know anymore. Price, I'll ask you the question. Do you feel that disappointment where it's like, why now the back three? Or do you agree with Clutch that it's just a Joao Felix thing and we'll see whether it's a long-term thing or just a one-off thing?
In terms of what? Is it Joao Felix thing?
The 3-5-2, 3-4-3, just the fact that we went back to the back three.
I mean, a part of me does think it was like to try out, obviously, him as like a second striker with Havertz, but he was kind of drifting everywhere, to be honest. I really loved watching his performance up until he got sent off. But yeah, I don't really know, to be honest. I think part of me is leaning towards, like, the larger part of me is leaning towards just because we got battered last game 4-0 and we wanted to try and, I don't know, go back to trying to be more defensively solid. That obviously didn't happen. And potentially, obviously, he spoke to some players last game. Maybe they recommended that try and maybe smooth things over with 3 at the back. I don't know. Players are used to it. Could be a lot of things. I mean, unless we ask the manager personally, I don't think we'd know.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, then. Let's just get into it. Con will turn up when he turns up. If he turns up, we'll see. Assume he's still in the space after the result. Start with Kepa. And are we just seeing the end of his purple patch? Is this what's happening? Because against City, cost us a point. And today cost us a point. Quite frankly, with 2 absolutely shocking errors. I mean, what can I say? Like, what is he doing? What is he doing? He didn't come out properly. He didn't. If he just stays in his line, it's the easiest save. What is he doing, man? Like, did he make a good save today as well? Don't really remember. Does any of you remember a good save from him? I don't. I've honestly had kind of enough. He gets a 1 for the 1 point he cost us. Pisses me off, man. What is this? Like, what? Every single one of our players, every single one of them can be good, can be bad. You just don't know. They'll have a spell of a couple of weeks and months where they play well, and then they'll have a spell of months and weeks where they play badly. And it applies to every single player. There's not a single exception from this, aside from maybe Thiago Silva.
And Reece James.
Well, he's either plays well or he's injured for weeks and months. So, swings and roundabouts. Not available on the pitch playing well for us. That's for sure. And every single other player, again, Chalobah, Koulibaly, what are you? I don't know. Pice, Kepa for the 1. Is it too harsh for the mistake? Or, I mean, yeah, sure, we could give him a 3 and say we had 1 mistake and otherwise it was okay. But at some point, this is the decisive mistake, man. Obviously, we don't know if that one doesn't go in. Maybe they score 10 minutes later from a thing he can't do anything about. You never know, I guess. But what we saw and the chance that they did have, how can you let that happen, man?
Not harsh at all. I'm pretty sure I said this a few weeks back when we was giving Kepa really high ratings. I said I don't know what it is. It's just I don't know whether I can fully believe in him. He just does it. He doesn't give me confidence. The only game where I thought he was literally unstoppable was Aston Villa away. That was completely different. But I mean, like, if you're gonna come out and commit to it. Like, genuinely, when I watched that back, that is genuinely horrific goalkeeping. I know, like, what the hell is he doing? I don't know. Kepa and Mendy need to leave in the summer, 100%. Like, they both piss me off as much as each other, to be honest. Like, Mendy just fell off the cliff, and Kepa is just fucking like the most yo-yo player I've ever seen in my life. Yeah.
It is. Sorry, for a second I thought I accidentally closed my whole Google Chrome window, which I thankfully didn't. Clutch, do you agree with the 1? What would you give Kepa otherwise?
I don't think it really matters what I give him, so I'm just going to give him a 0. Why not? I mean, that will take it down to a 0.5, so, it does matter slightly. Would it take? Okay, then 0.
Not 9.5, not quite, mate.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, but you want to elaborate, mate?
This is Kepa. I mean, when Kepa's good, when Kepa is confident, good, Kepa's really good. But when he's not, you get this. Back to Frank Lampard days with Kepa, I guess. But like, I see a lot of people in the chat being like, well, Mendy's so much better. You guys remember Mendy before Kepa came back? Wasn't much better. So
no,
I think Pius said it best. Like, both of them probably need to go. So yeah, just a 0. That's all.
Both of them probably do need to go, unfortunately. Yeah. It's a tough one. Shall we get to the defenders? Back 3. You know what? I'm just going to start with Chalobah. Who are you and what have you done to Trevor? But that was diabolical in every sense of the word. He opened up Fulham's first big chance of the game. They hit the bar in the first half with just a shocking header. His positioning, the amount of time they got behind him is absolutely dreadful. It was just all over the shop. He was frankly all over the shop in every single thing he did. The passing, it was just awful. It was awful. And I genuinely can't remember him doing a single good thing. I will give him a 0. I'm sorry, Chalobah. I love you, but that was just nearly as bad as it gets, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. Nearly as bad as it gets. Clutch, would you agree?
I ain't going to change it. 0. I mean, how many times did he get caught in no man's land today? Too many to count. And for a guy who is our second best center back this year, that's scary to think that, by the way. He's having these kind of mistakes. He got skinned on multiple different occasions. Luckily for him, I can make fun of Aspie a little bit more for getting skinned by Willian. But, again, Chalobah's younger. He's faster. He should be able to take care of himself a little bit better back there. And you even have Thiago Silva next to you, and you still got spun how many times? Like, no, it's a 0 for him.
Yeah, no, it's fair. It's fair. Price, would you agree, or do you think we're being a bit harsh?
No, you're not being harsh at all. You could potentially even give minuses. He was that bad. I mean, yeah, I mean, is it just because he's not played in a while? I mean, I know he played against City, but geez, man, like what on earth? Like, and I've seen Chalobah was still young. I've seen him have these performances, but like, I'm surprised he wasn't taken off. Honestly, he must I know obviously Badiashile is not a right centre back, but you could move Koulibaly over and put Badiashile to the left. I don't know, but I'm surprised he just wasn't taken off. To be honest with you, I mean, yeah, the goal for Willians. I mean, first he missed the header, then deflection. I mean, you can say it's unlucky, but still, like, got to do better. Like, Jesus Christ! And there was just so many other moments. He just that ball that went over the top. I thought, oh, that's offside. Pereira was through on goal. It's not offside at all. Chalobah just went miles over his head. I was thinking, what the hell? Like, watch the runner, track the runner, man. Like, yeah, 0. He was terrible.
He was. There's nothing more we can add, man. There's absolutely nothing more we can add. And you're sat there like, we're just in misery. It's just pure misery at the moment. And ladies and gentlemen in the chat, sorry, I'm trying to figure out this thumbnail situation and improve it a slight bit with my graphics guy not getting back to me, falling asleep, whatever he has done. Let's leave Thiago Silva to last at the back three. Let's get to Koulibaly. Wasn't as bad as Chalobah. Wasn't any good. He played a really good over-the-top ball to Havertz late on. Havertz forced an acceptable save of Bernd Leno, I guess. He scored. Didn't know much about it. He barely scraped it in. But hey, he scraped it in. No one else could. So on the basis of that, I'm going to give him a 5. Is that too nice for the goal and a couple of positive things? Maybe it's too nice. Pice, what would you say?
Koulibaly, 1 or a 2 for me. I thought he was dreadful. I don't care that he scored. Don't care. He was dreadful.
Okay.
Awful.
My favorite thing. I don't care. I don't care.
I would have scored that. Like, it's like, no, I'm not giving him any praise for that. I would have scored. No,
would you? I'm not sure you would have done, to be honest, but
bro,
I
was quite a little techie winger, you know. I would have scored that. A good little finish, close range, but no, like for real.
Oh my god.
He was. Fuck it. I don't know how he's gotten so shit. I mean, he can't defend wide space. I said in the chat, I literally said when that lineup came out, I said Koulibaly left centre back and a 3. Oh god, not again. Like fucking hell, man. He cannot play there. He cannot play there. Stop fucking playing him there. I'm gonna go insane, bro.
I take mine down to a 2, to a 4. Sorry. What did you say? 1 or 2 in the end?
I don't understand, bro. Like, where's his leadership as well? Like, fucking hell, man.
Well, there is no leadership. Sorry, did you say 1 or 2 in the end, bro?
Fucking 1. I'm tempted to give him a 0, honestly, but 1 for the goal, even though my nan would have scored it. Honestly. No, man.
Okay, 2.5 for now. Before we continue with the ratings, let me just quickly get to Con. Con, thank you for joining us. It's been a while since you've been on the stream. Unfortunately, at the moment, there's not really a good time to come back because we're always going to be a bit shit. Fortunately, what's your thoughts, man? Like, Felix actually looks all right. Not amazing, but looks all right. Certainly the brightest spark of the team for sure, even if he's missed some chances. And then he gets sent off. Zakaria gets injured. What? Then Kepa, what does he do? Like, bro, how do you feel at the moment, man? Like, what do we do with this? What do we do with this now?
Bro, if you don't laugh, you'll cry. Honestly, it's got to that stage. It's really bad. I can't remember the last time I saw Chelsea this bad. I don't even think it was this bad in like 15, 16. I don't think it was that bad then.
It didn't feel this bad anyway.
Nah. I don't know, man. It's just like, at what point this squad is bad, don't get me wrong, right? But at what point does it become, okay, we're not this bad? At what point does it, what's going to give? Until we're like 16th in the league? Are we going to, I don't know, bro. Right now, you can set the manager, it might change something. You can set him, keep him, it might change. I don't know at this point. I really don't know at this point. And then on top of like just, you know, the players not really looking like they care, the manager really, you know, he looks a bit under the pressure. He looks a bit out of his depth. But besides all that,
he does look under pressure, doesn't he? Like whether you agree that he should get sacked or not, he certainly looks under pressure.
Yeah. And then to top that off with the injuries, you know, one of our best players today, Zakaria, gets injured. You know, 2 minutes beforehand, the other good player today gets red carded. Just Chelsea season, isn't it? Top it off with bad luck, like the injuries. What's going on with that? Like,
crazy.
A few injuries, Laurenz, is bad luck. When it's this many, it's incompetence. It's as simple as that. And Again, I'm sorry I couldn't come back on a more positive note, but like you said, when would that be, bro? I might have to come on 2 years from now. We'll come back on a positive note. So yeah,
Seriously,
I'm here
man.
now.
Seriously, sorry. We've only done 3 players so far. Just quickly, do you agree with myself and Pies gave Kepa a 1, Clutch gave him a 0. What would you give him, mate?
Yeah, Chalobah wasn't good today. I'll give him a 1. Koulibaly, I'll give him a 2 because he scored. And did you say Thiago Silva as well?
No, Kepa.
Oh, Kepa. I'll give Kepa a 3.
3? Okay. Well, at least you brought some positivity here. So how does that change something? We said 1, Pies said, Clutch said 0, you said 3. Let's give him a 1.5 then. Remind me, sorry, I kind of expected you to start with Kepa. What did you say for Koulibaly? I'm sorry, bro. What did you say for Koulibaly? My bad.
Oh, I just said 2 because he scored.
Fair. And Chalobah, you agreed with a 0, or did you give a bit higher than that?
I gave him a 1 because he didn't get injured.
No, okay, that is fair. He didn't get injured. All right. Let's get to Thiago Silva then. Oh no, Clutch, you haven't done Koulibaly yet, have you?
No, I haven't. You can just give him a 0 too. No, I'm kidding. He gets a 2.
Give everyone a 0.
I highly considered it. The only one who's maybe not going to get it was Thiago Silva. But I will say a 2 for Koulibaly.
Okay. Let's get to Thiago Silva then. Why don't you start us off, Clutch? I mean, the thing that stood out most about him, other than that he did, as always, was the only one that can actually defend. In the very first minute of the second half, he attempted 3 long balls. Not one of them got anywhere near a Chelsea player. I was like, we scored soon after, so I was wrong when I initially thought that would be the sign of what's to come in the second half. But hey, it was to come soon after. But what am I going to give him? I'm not going to give him higher than a 6. Pies might. Some of you guys might. I'm not going to give him higher than a 6. Clutch, what about you?
I was going to give him a 5. That doesn't mean he was bad. He was just, what more can you do? I think Jem said it in the chat earlier. It's just, you got to feel bad for the guy, right? Like anytime on my screen, they showed Thiago Silva, he just looked like he regretted every decision he's ever made in his life. Like, why did I come here? Why am I here? I'm 38. Why am I the best player on this team by a distant mile? Like, he just looks defeated. And a Thiago Silva who looks defeated is kind of scary for me.
Even his wife sounds defeated.
Yeah, it's like, how does a guy like that get that defeated? A guy who has no reason to have allegiance to the club, but he does. Here in America, there's this saying that like the kids are all lazy, and usually the people who care the most are the old people. When you go to the grocery stores, right, you see the kids who are on their phones texting, but you see the old people, they're trying really hard. That's what Thiago Silva is. It's just, he's the only one who seems like he could be bothered to give a shit.
It's true. It's true. What else can I say? All right, you give him a 5. I said 6. Clutch. Thiago Silva's rating. Clutch gave him a 5. I gave him a 6. What would you give him?
I'm gonna give him a 7. The reason I'm giving him a 7 is because he's the only one through this whole mess who sorry, for some reason he just opened up on my laptop. During the situation, he's the only one who looks like a Chelsea level player, and today he must look to his left and right and thought, what am I doing with my life? I'm 38. Is he 39 now, Thiago Silva?
38, I think still.
Yeah, so he's 38. He's probably thinking, I could be playing in Brazil, enjoying the hot weather and just chilling, but nah, I'm dealing with this crap. Like, I feel for the guy, and like he looks defeated. And his wife as well, seeing what she's saying. Last week, I think she was on about Tuchel. This week, she's talking about, can we have a Thiago Silva everywhere? I agree. Can we have a Thiago Silva everywhere, please? Like, I'd love a Thiago Silva everywhere. Even if they're all 38 and got no pace, mate, I guarantee we're higher in the table. So I'm giving them a 7. I absolutely love this guy. He needs a new contract ASAP.
He needs a new contract. The question is just whether he wants to stay. That is a whole different debate and a whole different issue. Okay, fair enough. You give him the 7, so we remain on the 6 for the time being. Pice, what are you going to give him?
I'll probably give him a 6. Don't think he was below or above average. I think Vinicius pinned him a couple of times. He let a shot off from Vinicius, but quite early on in the game. But Yeah, overall, I agree with you guys. I think he's obviously the only one that's consistently good in this absolute mess. I mean, you know what? That's what's going to happen next game. Thiago Silva's going to make a mistake. Then we really will be fucked.
We'll get injured.
I'm gonna need you to take that back right now.
Bro,
You are the unluckiest person I've ever met in my life. I need you to not do that.
Like, what's the one thing that's not gone wrong for Chelsea yet at the moment?
Stop
Thiago
speaking,
Silva's
please,
still doing okay.
please. I swear to you, on Sunday, he better not get injured or something. I swear
Bro,
to you.
like honestly, it's just like he's like the immortal in this mess. He just got it like, yeah, I don't know. Feel for him. I do feel for him. Like, the amount of times you had to come across and try and deal with Koulibaly's mess as well. I can't. How many times did Koulibaly get beat this game? Or beaten to the ball first. It was just Christ. And then you've got Chalobah next to him. Like, bloody hell, give him a break. Seriously.
Yeah. It's a whole nightmare. It's literally a nightmare. Let's get to Azpilicueta. My God. I mean, I don't even know. Like, some of it is, well, obviously he's the issue itself, but the amount of time Felix, Mount, I think probably others, passed to Azpi when we had attacking moments, and he ruined it, stopped it every single time. And I'm like, I expect that though. So I'm annoyed at him that he does it, but I'm even more annoyed arguably at the players giving him the ball. And then someone said because it's such default for them to pass to Reece James. Mate, Reece James hasn't played in God knows how many months. Stop. That is not an excuse. That is absolutely not an excuse. What is Azpi going to do, man? For fuck's sake. And it's not even all his fault. Like, Tuchel and Potter as well, they used Loftus-Cheek at right wing back. Even he isn't fit, man. Like, he might be back soon, but even he isn't fit. Oh, it's just a nightmare. Defensively, he didn't constantly get annihilated, but still enough. I mean, Willian made him and Chalobah look so stupid the whole night, but especially Azpi. How was Willian shipped off? Was in Brazil. He was a bench player in Brazil, like Clutch reminded us. Now he's in the Premier League, starts every game for Fulham, and literally takes the piss. He's in the top 6 with Fulham. It's the top 6 with Fulham. And look at where we are. Oh my God, why is Azpi here? That's just the thing I don't understand. Whether it's Bowley's fault, Tuchel's fault, whoever's fucking fault it is, it's a fault. It's a mistake. I don't understand. I'm going to give him, 2, 1, doesn't matter. I want to give him a 0. I want to take him off the pitch. That's what I want to do. Because it's just unbearable. It's just unbearable. And I also cannot comprehend, this is a team sport. Yes, our players are all a bit shit, but when the form isn't as bad, so most of these players can be good players. But as soon as Reece James is not there, the whole team collapses. Don't even know how that's possible. Even Barcelona without Messi didn't collapse this hard. Like, what is this? Maybe Reece James will win the Ballon d'Or because name me one other player that has such an influence on any team. It's ridiculous. When we have Reece James, we're top 4 team. When we don't, relegation for the man. It's just an absolute piss take. Azpi. Sorry, I'll let you go first on this one. What do you reckon? Am I too nice with the 2 in the first place?
0 for me. Absolutely diabolical. Part of me feels sorry for him because he just shouldn't be playing, but we've got to judge what's on the pitch. 0. Offered nothing defensively, but nothing going forward. I mean, I don't know if you've seen that picture going around. What on earth was he doing out on the side when the way he was trying to defend sometimes?
Mate.
Bro, it was like he was playing rugby or something. Like, what the fuck?
He's doing squats. He missed the gym in the morning, so he had to make up for it.
I know you don't watch the sport, but it's like he was trying to defend in basketball.
But
that's how you defend in basketball.
Genuinely, I'm being deadly serious. Can we just play like Derek Abu or someone? I'm genuinely serious. What is the point in playing Azpi? He's I love the guy. I really do. I really, really respect him, but I can't watch him anymore. It's physically fucking painful watching him. Oh my God, man. I just can't do it. It's yeah, 0. I'm sorry. He doesn't get any higher.
Hey, bro, to be honest, I was being nice with my 2, but hey, here we are. Maybe you were more honest than me. Clutch, what about you? Azpi, 0 as well? Are you going to give him anything else? The reason why I didn't give him 0 is, well, I don't think he just got beat as much as Chalobah and even Koulibaly, if I'm honest. So that's why I didn't give him 0, because there was worse. And yeah, that's why I didn't.
That's because he was a right wing back though, but there was still so many attacks down that side where.
Yeah, no, obviously,
you know how he goes
you're right. I just still didn't feel he was as bad as Chalobah. That's all.
He has to go forward, obviously, but That's the thing with him. He doesn't have the legs to get back, and that leaves us so exposed. It's ridiculous. But still no right back signed.
Yeah.
Well done, guys.
Brilliant, that.
Big clap for the board. For fuck's sake.
Yeah, absolutely. But clutch rating?
0.
Okay.
There's going to be a lot of zeros today. Like, a lot of them.
Hey, that's okay. That's okay. Thanks, Con, by the way. And I will go to you now. 1, 2, 2 zeros. Where are you going to go for Aspie, mate?
I'm going to go with a 1 because he didn't get injured.
I love it. I see you giving Zakaria a 0 because he did get injured when he was actually the best player. But hey, I respect it. I respect it. Lewis Hall, what can I say about the kid? At halftime, I was like, frankly, take him off. He was poor first half. And then second half, Potter took him off for Cucurella when we needed a goal. I'm like, why, when you need a goal, why would you take the player off that's better going forward and put the player on that's worse going forward? I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, if you start Cucurella, then you brought Hall on when we needed a goal late on. It's all understandable. At the same time, Hall has been in front of goal at Chelsea for like 3 or 4 times and spotted it on every single occasion. Now, he gets his shot on target, but he just shoots at the goalkeeper every time. Then again with a good save, because I actually took a deflection today when he had a good chance early on. Like, Joao Felix's second touch of the game was a nutmeg. Do you know what I mean? Look at the rest of the team, man. Lewis Hall, I'm going to give him a 4. Got to give him a 4. He wasn't good. He really wasn't good. But was he bad enough to get a 3? Maybe a 3. I mean, anywhere between a 3 and a 4. I'm not fully decided yet. I feel like Lewis Hall is a difficult one. And people like say, oh, it's all because of Cobham, and that's why people are not as harsh on them. I'm like, no, it's nothing to do with him being from Cobham. It's to do with him being 18, regardless of where he come from. At 18 in the Premier League game, I'm going to be a little bit more lenient than I will with, 22, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, God knows how old. Do you know what I mean? Like, but obviously when he starts, we also need him to perform. And it wasn't amazing today, but I still feel like he was better than, other than Thiago Silva, all the other defenders. Would you agree with that? And what would you give him?
I'd give Hall. I'd give him 5.5 or a 6. Like, I'm not too sure which one. Like, because he just shows he cares, man. He shows he gives a shit. He doesn't just let people breeze past him for fun, you know. Like, he can actually get forward, unlike any other fullback right now for Chelsea, because, Chilwell's always injured. So I feel for him. It's a horrible time to be coming into Chelsea to get your appearances because, the squad's confidence is just hella low, all over the place. And, when you see someone like Lewis Hall look more composed than some who's meant to be senior like Koulibaly, man, serious questions need to be asked. But, yeah, I'm going to give him a 6. You know what? He's one of the people I'm going to be nice to. I'm going to give him a 6.
Okay. I hear it. Pice, in my opinion, slightly too nice. 6 from Con, but still I see where he's coming from. A 4 from my end. Are you going to be as nice as we are, or are you going to go lower than that?
I'll go for a 5.
Okay.
I do think he was a little bit below average, but I think with Hall, I mean, as Con said, he clearly does give a shit. I don't think he gets beat easily. I just think it's down to a lack of defending skills. Like, he's a centre mid as well. I still can't believe like he's playing this left side, but he gets forward. He should have scored. It's going to start annoying me if he misses another one of those sitters. Like, it's going to start annoying me. I can't lie. It was an absolute sitter from. But to be fair, Havertz' pathetic weak shot. It should have gone in the back of the net in the first place anyway from that cutback from Felix. So, yeah, I don't think he was dreadful. I don't think he's I almost feel like he just plays wing back because he can get forward and he's quick. Like, I don't really think he's, he should really be playing there. But at the same time, I mean, would I rather watch him than Cucurella right now? Absolutely, I would. So, yeah, I'll go with
back
5.
without a doubt. At left back, I probably prefer Cucurella, but wing back,
yeah, I think there was one really nice moment where he beat 2 players and won a foul, and was that actually how we scored our goal? I can't remember, but yeah, it was. Yeah, he wasn't as bad as the others, I thought. Especially for his age. You got to take in his age as well. It's crazy how young he is.
No, it's true. That is true. That's very true. Okay, a 4, a 5, and a 6. Clutch, what are you going to give Lewis Hall?
A 3.
Okay.
A 3.
Do you want to elaborate?
how many times are we gonna watch this kid miss a shot? Like, and we go off on everybody else. So at some point you have to be fair, and I don't think his defending was terrible, but at some point you also gotta say, hey, these moments change games. He's young, he'll learn. It's not saying, hey, he's shit, he should never play again. Nobody should say that, but for me, I'm just like, okay, like there's moments in the game that you need to take advantage of, and we just don't take advantage of them.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's one chance. So I'm like, as much as we should mention it and criticize it, I'm not quite sure whether the chance is enough to like downgrade drastically, but I do still see where you're coming from. I did miss a super chat from Wing earlier. I do apologize. Well, I was going to say man, but maybe woman. I'm not sure. Mendy's bad because he's too bad. He's too busy for a goalkeeper. Check stats. It doesn't matter. He's got a broken finger. He's injured. So it doesn't, like, that is an irrelevant conversation to have. So I don't really understand why people talk about Mendy anyway. But appreciate the donation regardless. And hey, who knows what's going to happen when Mendy's back. Maybe we'll try him again. Maybe he'll be good for a month and then he'll be bad again and we'll play Kepa. Who knows? Maybe that's just what we need to do. Just change a goalkeeper once a month. Maybe that's what we need to get into. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, we still have over 560 people watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Big red subscriber down below and hit the like button as well. That'd be massively appreciated. Let's get to poor Dennis Zakaria. Tears in his eyes. Looked bad. Like he actually played like clearly like he was running and stopped. Clearly got himself injured because the studs kind of slipped and then gripped and then clearly that fucked his knee. And he still played a better pass than bloody Mason Mount did all night long. Do you know what I mean? With that injured knee before he walked it off and then sat down and got treated and came off. He was of non-defenders and players that didn't get sent off, the only acceptable player on the pitch today, in my opinion. But the problem with him is off the ball, trying to run after the ball, trying to win the ball. Very good. I would, for that part of the game, would give him a 7 or an 8. For when he actually has the ball, trying to run with it, is trying to shield it, I would also give him a 7 or an 8. The problem is when it comes to passing, you have to give him like a 1 because he either doesn't pass or 90% of the time he doesn't pass. And he has good passes on. And the same that criticism will go to others. But Zakaria did other good things while the others just were bad at everything, including passing. But yeah, that is a frustrating situation. I also don't fully understand why he was deployed as a single six today. Again, we didn't play it all game long like that off the ball. Well, when Fulham had the ball in their defenders, we dropped it off a little bit like that, and then Mount dropped back in. So it wasn't constantly a single six, but I still don't even understand how you would at times be at a single six, if I'm being perfectly honest. But hey, is what it is. Yeah, I'm going to give him a 6. It's just unfortunately he got injured because, I mean, the only slight positive about him getting injured is even if Bodie didn't want to, and Iqbali and all these guys, it's going to force them to buy a midfielder. I think it's going to be maybe Caicedo, if we can even get him. And I fear we're not going to go back in for Enzo Fernandez, even though that's exactly what we should be doing. And quite frankly, the only acceptable thing we could be doing. But now with Zakaria out, will we maybe go for a more defensive midfield option than even Caicedo is? I don't know. I have no idea. But yeah, he was okay until he came off. Not too much to criticize again. Good off the ball, good with the ball at his feet, horrible at passing. Yeah, that's my summary of him today, Clutch. What do you think, Zakaria, today?
I think it's unfair of the rest of the team who was in that midfield to leave him as vulnerable as he was. Like, he was just on an island by himself having to take on the midfield. So I'd give him a 6.
Okay, fair. And Nazair, appreciate the super chat. You didn't add anything to it, but hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate the donation. Pice, would you agree with the 6 for Zakaria? And do you agree with my assessment as well? It's great off the ball, great when he has the ball at his feet, but passing ain't his thing. Like, again, it's not even that he constantly misplaces the passes. It's more like that he just chooses not to play the passes so often. It's crazy.
Yeah. When I do have like some sort of, reservations, I guess, whether he actually should be the guy that's more advanced out of the two, just because of that reason. I mean, he's a powerful runner, but doesn't necessarily look comfortable on the ball, does he? Especially when he has to pick out a pass. So, yeah, just gives me more defensive midfielder vibes than anything. But, he's being played where he's played.
The way we play football, our defensive midfielder, he's on the ball so much that he doesn't give me that vibe either, though.
Yeah, I
that's the issue. And that's my same issue with Caicedo, by the way. That's exactly, I have the same problem with that. That's been our problem with Kante for God knows how many years. That he's not really a DM because he's not quite good enough for passing at that. And if you play him further forward, then he's annoying because he's not quite good enough for passing to be further forward. So that's why
Caicedo's definitely improved. He's definitely improved his passing a lot, but
who?
Caicedo is definitely he's a decent passer in my opinion.
Yeah, but we don't have Sarri who can actually teach him, unlike he taught Kante.
Yeah, I just think with Caicedo, I think it's Graham Potter player, and if they want to back Graham Potter, then get him Caicedo, get him a cut. I don't give a fuck. Like, just you know what I mean. Just get people he wants. That will show probably to the supporters as well that he's gonna be stick behind. So yeah, maybe one day Nasser as well. If I don't get
one day, when we win the Premier League next time, then I'll force Pies to a pace. But you might be waiting for a while. Pies, in the end, did you agree with the 6? Yeah, just remind me. Sorry.
No, I'll go for 5. I'll go for a 5.
Okay.
I think the midfield was quite cut through quite a lot. Didn't because I think
I just feel like he had to do it all by himself, and every midfielder all by himself is never going to stop it, even if you play.
Yeah, no. Kovacic was terrible, but Zakaria, like, what was that game where they both played and they were just like the balance? Everyone was like, "Oh my god, this balance is so perfect," and then you watch tonight and it's like, what? Like, I can't remember what game.
I don't even know, because against Bournemouth, the only game after Christmas where we were actually somewhat decent in, it was Jorginho and Zakaria, I'm pretty sure, because Kepa wasn't back yet. So I'm not sure what game. Maybe the home game against City. I think that might have been it.
Can't remember, but there was definitely a game, because I remember everyone was like, "Yeah, that's our midfield pairing now," and then now it's this game tonight weren't great.
I mean, we had a man sent off and we still kind of improved with Jorginho, because for the first time all game we managed to keep the ball. So that. I guess that's something. Clutch. Maybe I was actually, now that I think about that, the fact that we arguably improved in possession, even though we were man down after Jorginho came on for Zakaria. Maybe I shouldn't give him even a 6, but he was still better than the other two by 3 million miles. So, Clutch, what are you going to give Zakaria, mate?
I gave him a 6. You were already at me. It's Con. You got to go to now.
Okay, Con.
I'd probably give him a 6 as well, to be fair. I thought he was pretty solid today. And he did do that really nice pass today as well. I can't remember. It was in the second half.
He did play one nice pass. You're right.
Yeah, it was quite a nice pass. Yeah, and it's nice to see that, like, he was picking up some form, because 25 mil option to buy is looking pretty tasty right now. But, yeah, of course he had to get injured, didn't he? So that sucks.
Of course it did. And it looked like not a simple muscle injury, not a twisted ankle. No, of course it's another knee thing, because it's just what we do. It's just what we love.
Chelsea players with knees, bro. It's mad.
Mate, I hate knees. The knees just need to get just in a bit.
You just know that's like, well, I don't want to like speculate, but in my opinion, you just know like those sort of injuries where you just pull up after a pass, he's probably done some damage to it. Like, looked like he was crying and playing as well. Like, it's just, we're not even going to have a fucking starting 11 to field us to this point. Like,
but we have a starting 11 of injured players. We have 11 injuries.
Legit, we do. That's like, the hell, man. I feel like I'm living in some sort of simulator. Like, is this real? Like,
maybe what was before was the simulation. This reality, you never know. Pice, I'll let you go first and Kovacic. Now, just looked at some stats. He did have, unlike in City, he had some more touches, 64 of them today. Pass accuracy is 80%. Not good, but it's not so awful that we need to criticize it super badly. But, I mean, everything else I was not particularly happy with, I'll be perfectly honest. I mean, tackles 1 says 2 out of 2, but if you're a centre midfielder, shouldn't you have more than 2? Isn't that where the whole problem starts? I just thought he was awful today. Genuinely, and it's just an issue at the moment. He doesn't seem to trust himself in dribbling. I'm not sure if he's not fit enough to go into them, and his passing is just so bad. And I mean, he did get absolutely robbed by the ref on 2 occasions where he made perfectly good tackles, won the ball back perfectly cleanly, and the referee gave the most ridiculous free kicks I've ever seen in my life. So that obviously didn't help him. Maybe that would have made him look a lot better. But the way it was, it really wasn't good, was it, Pice? What would you rate Kovacic yesterday, mate?
Probably give him like a 2, to be honest. Thought he was really bad. His passing was so bad, man. And I know he can like I'm harsh on him because I know he can do so much better than this. I don't know what's happened to him the last 2 games. He's looked absolutely dreadful. Complete drop off to what I'm used to. My favourite player, but yeah, he was dreadful. So much space in midfield. I don't feel like he helped Lewis Hall out much either. But yeah, just the passing, like there was one where he literally overhit it. I think it went out for a goal kick. He was trying to play a through ball. I'm like, just how? Like I don't understand how, because he's like he literally, it's like what he was doing, you know, when he first joined. Like, but we saw.
Yeah,
like,
someone said he looked like Ross Barkley today.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Ross Barkley scored 2 great goals yesterday for Nice. So
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, I would have given him.
I'm gonna
a
need
10
you not to
if he
remind me of
scored
that.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Should I move on to someone else, Pice?
Yeah, I would have given him like a 10 if he scored that bicycle kick. But I mean, that's the situation we're in. That players are trying that now.
Yeah. Havertz tried one as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Havertz one would have
Bro.
looked so much like that Ronaldo one
God.
against you, but that would have been mad. Kovacic was insane. I didn't even know he get his foot that high up so quickly. But
Surprised he didn't
put it in
injure
Rose's
himself,
edge.
to be
You might as
honest.
well have saved the effort.
Surprised he didn't pull a hamstring or something doing that. It would have been like luck at the moment.
That would have been, yeah, absolutely. Con, do you agree with Pice's 2? Would you go even harsher? Are you giving him a 1 for not getting injured?
I probably agree with 2. I think he was better than Azpi today, but that's the only praise I can really give him, to be honest. I feel he was better than Azpi, and that's not really saying much. So I'll give him a 2. He gets an extra +1, just like the other guys for not getting injured.
See, it's weird now because now that you say he was better than Azpi, I'm like, yeah, he probably was in a way, but it's because he's Kovacic. The guy could only turn up in his left little toe and still be better than Azpi. So I still want to give him a 0 because I still think like, what is you doing, man? If any other midfielder played like Kovacic, if Mount played like Kovacic, I mean, Mount gets stated anyway, but because Mount plays like Mount. But if Mount played like Kovacic, mate, it would be unbelievable. I'm giving him a 0. But 2 2s, 1 0. Clutch, what you're going to give Cover?
What did you say you was going to give him?
0.
Oh, I was going to give him a 0. I thought I was being harsh. I was like, well, I'm going to get slated, but no, I was also going to give him a 0. Like it was part of that midfield.
You have to do. I mean, Kunta Kunk says, I thought Kovacic tried. I mean, did he?
Congratulations.
No, I actually as I said, he's my favorite player, but I don't know. I felt like he not that he didn't try, but he didn't you know what I mean? He didn't give it his all. Like he usually goes on like a driving run through midfield. He usually wants to pick the ball up, and there's been so many times where we're losing. Like he's come off the bench as well, and I'm like, oh, like you can tell Kovacic wants to get us back into games. It's just like doesn't really care at the moment. It's weird. Strange.
Yeah, I just don't know. He just doesn't look 100% fit to me. And it would make sense, right? Because they say he was labouring an injury before the World Cup. Then he played the entire World Cup. When was he supposedly have gotten fit in that period? So it wouldn't be surprising. But then why does he start all the time at the moment? And I just don't get it. I just do not get it. But all right, that leaves us at a 1 for him when we get to Mason Mount. And it's going to be the same 0, at least for me. He was, in my opinion, the worst player we had today. Even worse than Chalobah.
Again.
Genuinely. He was the worst. He's just shocking. Like at the moment, he's kind of disproving everybody that said he's an A, and that includes me because I know we have issues with with injuries and managerial change and all that. Just once you're in a bad slump, you're in a bad slump. It's difficult to get out. But at the moment, you're not doing anything right. You're not being useful defensively in terms of midfield because you're not as high up the pitch. You're not even useful in the press anymore now. Now that you use deeper, you never keep the ball. You never play any useful forward passes, even on your strong foot. People had a go at Havertz for it last week on his weak foot. Mount is on his strong foot and has through balls one after the other right in front of him and doesn't play it. And then he constantly plays it to Azpi, ruining every attack. And then he complains. I'm like, yeah, but you played it to Azpi. So like, I know that Azpi's going to stop the attack. Why don't you know? If you don't know, then use your brain. It just pisses me off, man. A lot of them. Why? He shouldn't start anymore. Play Carney Chukwuemeka. Play him. I don't understand why Carney isn't getting starts. It's ridiculous to me. Absolutely ridiculous. It's dreadful from Mount. Absolutely dreadful. Awful. And people are on Havertz's case. Mount was so much worse than Havertz today. And Havertz was bad too. But Mount was so much worse than Havertz today. It's insane. And it pisses me off, man. It's so triggering. So triggering. Clutch. Do you agree with me?
Yes. I'm giving a lot of people zeros today. It was just awful all around. Mason Mount's one of those players. When that ball should have went to Felix, Felix did 90% of the work. 90%. All you had to do is just throw ball to him, and you didn't do it. It goes back to, and it would get back to that argument we keep having of the creativity issue. Like, there needs to be a creator in the midfield. And unfortunately for Mount's case, that is supposed to be him. And he's not doing it. The more I see Mount.
The chat is reminding us, and they have a shout, to be fair. He did basically score the goal for us because it was a very good free kick that hit the post, hit the goalie, and then Koulibaly put it in. So yes, sure, that is true. But he was so bad otherwise, I still don't think it gives him more than a 0, if I'm honest.
I don't care. Losing 1-2 rather than 0-1, I don't care. You lost still regardless. I don't care. It's still a 0 for him. Every time I see him, I'm getting more and more pissed off and being like, why is he playing? And I'm starting to understand why people really don't like him. What's that dude's name? Bad Chelsea Takes. I'm starting to understand him a little bit better. I don't agree, but I'm starting to understand.
Con, what are you going to give Mount? Are you going to give him a 1 or a 2 for creating the goal essentially with a good free kick? You know, as much as we criticize him, that free kick was good.
I'll give him a 2. 1 because he's part in the goal, and the other 1 because he didn't get injured. I don't know what's been up with Mount this season. I really don't understand it, to be honest. I don't get it. You're asking for a lot of money. It came out apparently it's not 300k a week he's asking for, but he's asking for a lot, and this is the performance you should be giving us. I don't get it. And there was one point in the game that really annoyed me, right? He didn't play, I think, a ball to Felix. And then like a couple minutes later, somebody didn't pass him the ball and he was just losing his mind about it. Like, mate, have some self-awareness, you know? Yeah. Like, you of all people this season have no right about not playing a pass. Like, he's really doing my head in. And the fact that even if you try to say something which is fair, call spade a spade, saying he's been asked, you know, some people can't have that because he's Cobham's finest and it's Mason Mount. So.
Yep. Okay. But you give him a 2 price. What are you going to give Mount? 0?
Yeah, sorry. 0. I mean, Jesus Christ. You know, I'm not even going to say anything. I probably won't even say anything to Havertz either. I mean, they were both just... Yeah, I don't really want to speak. I mean, you just go and watch some clips tonight. I'm sure they're all over the Twitter. Just type in Mount and Havertz. No eyes. Literally, they have no eyes. I'm genuinely convinced. Like, my God. And people were saying that was a hard pass to Felix, you know, when Felix did that lovely turn and nutmeg. Yeah, probably was a hard pass. But you know what? Maybe if you're an 8, you have your head up and you actually try it, you know? So, not like, oh my God, bro, it's infuriating.
What's a more difficult pass? The left-footed pass through the dude's legs that Felix made to get it to Mason Mount, or the through ball?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Mason Mount can go to hell today.
Bro, he's so bad. I don't understand it either. I don't understand whether, like, because he's got 2 Player of the Years, he just thinks he's that guy and he's just, I don't know, like, obviously he had the free kick that hit the post, but that's all he did. Like, he literally, he's infuriating to watch. I don't understand where his performance levels have gone. Like, he just has no shame. Like how Con said, the ball, I think it was Felix who had the ball and Mount made a run and Mount was going absolutely insane. Bro, I was thinking, like, this is the biggest, like, you know, like, I don't want to say that word.
I mean, I don't mind that so much. Like, obviously, in that moment, he probably didn't see the pass that he should have played as obvious as us, while the pass to him, he sees as obvious. I don't mind you complaining about that. I'd rather that than walk around stoically all night while we're losing.
But don't whine about it when you're the one.
No, I agree. Don't whine about it. I agree, but at the same time, we complain when they don't show emotion as well. So, you know, it's kind of like a 2-sided horse. Do you know what I mean? It's not even an expression. If not,
every time I seen Felix, he was also complaining about something when he didn't get the ball, and it's completely fair. Like, it's all completely fair, but at the same time. If Mason Mount,
you can't have a
go. If Mason Mount, no, that's what I'm saying. I can say
both. Complete at every pass, like no. If either both,
I'm not saying
for complaining or neither. You can't say one is okay.
I said you can criticize both for that.
Aha,
what I'm
sorry, I
saying.
thought you said for him it's fair. Okay, sorry. Oh, well, there you go. Then I mean, it's 3 zeros and 1 2, so I guess 0.5. Someone said, so was Kovacic better than Mount? No, to me they were equally as shit as each other, and they both deserve 0. But this is a democracy, and that's why one has a 1 and the other has a 0.5. You could also put it down to Pice's bias, because Kovacic has given everyone a slightly higher rate than us, and Pice gave Kovacic a higher rate than Mount, even though they're equally as shit as each other. But let's get to Joao Felix, man. He looked a bright spark. He shot a lot, had 6 shots, pretty much all of them straight at the keeper. But at least he shoots. If he didn't get himself sent off, he might have scored at some point with one of those shots. I know he played one great ball with his left foot, but otherwise he looks so extremely heavily right-footed. It's shocking to me after yesterday what I was talking to your expert about, because how on that cross from Mount, which was a decent cross to be fair, the more things I mentioned, the more positive moments we talk about Mount, bloody hell. Crossed the man, even though Felix was offside anyway, but we didn't know that at the time. Why would you go for that with the outside of your boot? Like, you learned in the under 8s and you have to go with your left foot. And if you don't trust your left foot that bad, that's a problem. And then he had another situation where he tried to cross it with the outside of his boot when it just really wasn't on instead of his left foot. I'm like, oh no. But still, he looked bright otherwise. I mean, his second touch was a nutmeg, man. He looks like he can certainly strike a ball. That's good. He looks like he has movement. He looks like he is willing to try things. But, once he's here for long enough, in the bad run for long enough, he will also stop trying things. Unfortunately, that will happen to everybody. But yeah, he was okay. I'm not sure how harsh I want to be on the red card, because it's mostly unlucky, because he clearly just tried to go for the ball, trying hard on his debut, and then did put his leg back, but not enough, and got the red card. And it's a fair enough red card. You can't complain too much about it. I also think on another day, Zakaria maybe gives a penalty away in the first half. Like, it would have been soft, but I've certainly seen other things given, or I've seen things that I've given, if I'm honest. So, not that has anything to do with Joao Felix, but just remembered it. But I'm not sure if we're slightly overdoing it by saying how great Joao Felix was. Like, he was certainly better than all the others, but he still wasn't amazing. Like, again, he had a couple of chances where he certainly could have done a bit better with it. But obviously, he has 1 day of training. But does that affect his shooting? I don't know. With the red card, I'm going to give him a 6. It's because I'm only going to take like 0.5 to 1 off for the red card. I know it screwed us. I know it cost us the game. But I still think it's more unlucky than... It's also stupid. I'm going to give him a 5, sorry. Even though he wasn't good at our best player in terms of attacking, it's such a stupid tackle. He might well be out for 3 games now, against Palace, against Liverpool, and against Fulham again, man. We need points and wins, man. We can't have you out. Now we have Joao Felix suspended for potentially 3 games, Pulisic out, Sterling out.
Hey,
No
at least we'll
attackers,
sign
man.
another attacker
We'll
tomorrow,
get
right?
to not using Aubameyang. I will bring that Potter comment up that you put in the private chat, Pice. You were saying, Pice? Go on. And you
I was
can
gonna say,
break
hey,
that
at least we'll get another attacker in tomorrow, right? Maybe some emergency talks tonight. Fucking hell.
Yeah, Marcus Thuram
Jesus,
probably.
bro.
But
We need some
hey,
players.
what did you make of Joao today, and what would you rate him?
I thought honestly, I thought he was quality on the ball. I thought he was amazing. I thought his shots were a bit sort of, I don't think they were the greatest, but I actually just liked that someone was shooting, to be honest.
No,
Like,
I
I was like, wow. And that's actually, one of the things that one of my writers said he does like to shoot a lot. When we did a piece on him, and yeah, I mean, he's just so technical, such a level above of anyone else on that pitch for me. Yeah, I mean, it's just, you can just see the talents there. Like, he looked a lot more freer. He's not here for 3 games. It's so annoying because I want to watch him again. He's the first player in a while that I've actually gone, right, I want to watch you next game. You were fun to watch. You were good on the ball.
He's the first player since Hazard that's made me feel that.
Bro, trust me, he's a great
Well,
player.
and Reece James, obviously, but in terms of
yeah, I mean, 3 games out, the tackle, I mean, can't really appeal that either because they're just going to say no anyway. Like,
the only thing they can try is that, because obviously the 3 games would only be for dangerous play or malicious intent or whatever it is, and because he pulled his leg back a bit, maybe we can get 1 game off and only get him out suspended for 2, but that's the extent of it, I think.
Yeah, so I've checked his. Well, if he is out for 3, the next game is West Ham away on the 11th of February, so it's quite a long time.
It's like I say, he's here on a
Quite
5.5
literally a
month
month.
loan, and he's now missing a month.
Yeah, 30 days. Yeah, I mean, yeah, When it rains, it pours, bro. When it rains,
Why do we even have so little games between now and then?
Because
there's an international break in between somewhere, I think.
No, there's not. It's just a week break now from games between games. I don't think there's a break.
Obviously, we don't have FA Cup and we don't have League Cup. That's partly why. But
yeah,
still.
probably. We've obviously got Palace. Then it's a week till Liverpool. Then it's a week till Fulham, I believe, again, and then we play West Ham. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah. No, you're right. That's crazy because we have no cups this year. Because usually, obviously, we're used to making it to the final in every cup.
We need these week breaks on training grounds, bro. Even though
they're the only thing that can save us now, frankly. But did you give me a rating? Sorry, Pace.
I know he got a red card, but because I thought he was just such a bright spark and I enjoyed watching him, I'm going to give him a 7.
Okay.
I would have honestly gone higher. But because I thought I just loved watching. I thought he was brilliant. But for the red card, knocks it down quite a bit.
Okay. Clutch. I gave him a 5, just because I think I agree with what Pice is saying that he looked good and was a bright spark, and I want to watch him again. But I just think he looked so much better because the others were so bad, not because he was that good today. And that's also totally fair. He had 1 day of training. It would be insane if he scored a hat-trick or something today. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not surprised that he wasn't maybe super, super effective, even though it was already good anyway. But obviously the red card for me takes it down. What would you give him, Clutch?
Did you not see Laurenz? I feel like you're being a bit harsh on him. Do you not see the talent in him? I thought he was.
No, I completely agree with you. I completely agree.
But
I'm not rating the talent.
I'm gonna stop that here.
A rating for the game today, not the talent.
I know, but you said because you just think we thought he was. The others were so just because the others were bad, he'd make them look better. But I think he was level above them anyway, even if Mount and Havertz.
Yeah, I agree with you. He was a level above them in terms of everything he did, but in terms of the final bit was equally as not there as it's been for the others. When he came to finishing, the finishing was average. I mean, that shot that he had off the left side, struck it 1.5 yards wide of the goal. Do you know what I mean? If Mount does that, we have a go at him. If it's Joao Felix, we're like, oh, well, at least he shot.
No, that was a bad shot, but the others were not easy chances.
I agree. They weren't easy. Absolutely. I agree with that. Again, I'm not saying, like I say, in my head, it was like a 6.5, 7. And then I take some off for the red card. That was my logic. But no, I agree. The talent is absolutely visible. But if I would have given him an 8 for a game like today, what do I give him for a game that he actually plays really well?
I didn't want you. I didn't want you to give him an 8. I just thought I don't know. I just thought he was being a bit harsh. But fair enough.
Okay, no. I see where you're coming from. No, I completely agree on the talent. I don't want to make it sound like Joao Felix is not great. Clearly he is, but. Yeah, with the whole thing, I will stand by my 5 for the time being, at least. Clutch, what about you?
I'm going to start with this. He's my current player that excites me the most to watch. With that being said, he is one of the main reasons we didn't win this game. He got a red card. That sent us down to 10 men. Without the red card, I could see a 7, maybe a 6. With the red card, it's going to go down to a 4. He's one of the main reasons. And he didn't play perfect either. Yes, he was good.
Wow.
But no, you cannot say, well, he's a 6, but the red card, that's kind of one of the reasons why we went down is because we had less men. And he is the reason. And I don't care if it's harsh or not. That was you don't challenge with your studs up. That's the number 1 rule. I don't care who it is. That's just a dumb challenge. As much as I like him as a player, I really do. I have to judge him on what he did today. And one of the reasons we lost was him. So he gets a 4 for me.
Okay. So I have a 4, a 5, and a 7. Connor, you going to complete the quadruple and give him a 6, or what are you going to give him?
I was actually going to give him a 3 today.
A 3?
Yeah,
Whoa.
because
you gave him his whole 6.
The red card changes everything.
It's true, but 3.
It's so annoying because he was Chelsea's best player on the pitch, 100%. He's my guy as well. I've loved him for years. I'm so happy he's here. But the fact that we're gonna be without him for 3 games now as well, I can't give him any higher than a 3, and I feel generous giving him a 3. It was such a dumb red card to get, and it's such a shame. It's such a shame because he played really well today. I feel like if he was on the pitch the whole time, I think he would have been involved in another goal. So
could well have been, yeah.
It's just a shame, and that's why I have to give him a 3 because it's a big part to why we lost. And
It's that, and the even worse
We
thing
we could have had the game pretty much done if Havertz scored his cutback, but
No, I get
Don't
that. I
worry,
get that.
well,
But
don't worry,
we'll
don't
come
worry.
to
Havertz
Havertz.
is,
Yeah,
he's gonna get his. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll come
But-
to Havertz, isn't it? But
Like as soon as Joao Felix, the thing is, the reason why I'm being more harsh is because Joao Felix was
Let's-
literally.
sorry. Let's also just say Lewis Hall's chance was bigger than Havertz's chance because Havertz's cutback got blocked.
Didn't I
yeah.
give Lewis Hall?
Hall
like a
was one
three?
more with the keeper. So,
But I'll be honest with Lewis Hall. The reason that is just because I don't see anything from these players where they care. Mine wasn't really on performance. It's just, you know what, I don't mind seeing you. on
hey,
the
bro,
pitch,
no,
but
I didn't
that's fine.
even mean that to say as in, you shouldn't have rated Hall that highly. I just meant
No,
to
'cause
say.
I feel
because
like now
Price
after like
brought up
listening,
Havertz.
I should have gave him a bit lower. Like that was just pure bias why I gave him such a high rating. So I should have gave him lower for sure. I think the
I
4.5
drop it
is
down
fair.
to 0.5, okay?
Yeah, I think the 4 is fair. But like with Felix, it can't be any higher than a 3. I know how good he looked in the ball, and I know we've been starving to see an attacker, you know, with some individuality about them. But at the same time, you can't be getting a red card like that.
And as soon as he went off, we had
Yeah.
zero chance in hell to even score because
Yeah,
he was the one creating. And
as
he
soon
was
as
the
he
one
went
making
off-
things happen. It just didn't happen after
As
that.
soon as he went off, in my head, we lost. I knew we was going to lose the game as soon as he
I did
went
too.
off. And yeah, this Chelsea team does not respond well to someone getting a red card.
Okay. I mean, I hear you guys. If I'm being perfectly honest, I hear you guys. I'm just trying to figure out what the chat thinks. I'm trying to put a poll for Joao Felix's rating, but it only gives me 4 options, and then I can do 3, 4, 5, 6, and it doesn't even go up to price.
And
of
the
7.
thing that I think the thing
So-
that even frustrates me a little bit more is that's 20% of his loan now. That's an insane amount.
That is true. And that's also why I rated it down so much. I know I in the end gave him a 5 anyway, but that's why for me, in my head, went down from like a 6.5, 7 down to a 5, which is a big gap to me, a big jump. But yeah, I mean, now I've put the poll in there as 3, 4, 5, 6, and maybe some people that think he deserved more than a 6. Maybe for that reason, now the 6 will win. But yeah, I mean, place your vote in the poll at the top of the chat. Your rating for Joao Felix, include the red card, missing 3 games, missing 20% of his loan now for red card, and arguably costing us at least a point, if not the win. But yeah, there you go. You guys place your votes, and we will move on to Kai Havertz. By the way, in the end, what we said 3, 4, 5, and 7. If you divide that by 4, it gives us 4.75. So
I think
now we're up to 5. Go on, Clutch.
I think for me, one of the reasons why I'm even being more harsh is he's like the worst player that's not named, maybe even more than Thiago Silva, to actually get a red card. Like out of everybody on this team, he's the worst person to have to get one. And it was a dumb challenge. That's why I'm like more harsh on him. Because I love Felix. I think I said it yesterday. He's the player I root for now. He's like my favorite player now. And it's kind of sad because it's only going to be here for 6 months. But even then, I don't care. It's just like, that's why I'm being a little bit more harsh on him.
Okay. I hear it. Again, ladies and gentlemen, subscribe if you haven't already. Place your vote at the top at the poll in the top of the chat, and hit the like. But now we get to Kai Havertz. I'm not going to give him a 0.
I
know people want me to. I'm going to give him a 1 because I think he was better than Kovacic, Mount, and Chalobah. Simple as that. But still awful, mind you. Like, again, I'm not saying better and good. No. Just a little less awful, but still awful. But there was a little bit of link-up play with Felix. So I'm like, okay, that's okay. His shot against Leno was okay when he ran through the 4 midfield players at the box and tried to chip. That was okay. Again, I'm not saying he was great in any of these moments, but it was okay. So at least enough for me to not give him a 0, in my opinion. If you guys disagree, that's absolutely fine. Con, I feel I want to go with you first on this one. Kai Havertz, are you going to give him a 0? If not, what are you going to give him?
I'm going to give him a 2. Because I don't think he was worse than Mount. I do agree. I think Mount was probably one of the worst players on the pitch. So I couldn't give him less than Mount because I gave Mount a 2. So he didn't get injured. So I don't know. I keep saying that, but if half these players got injured, I don't mean to be that guy. They'd probably do us a favour, man. Just forfeit games 3-0 so you don't have to watch the crap, you know? Yeah. But
I shouldn't be laughing at that, but I am.
What Pi said earlier about him and Mount, they have no eyes, man. Their vision is horrible, bro.
Bro, when he ran it off the pitch, like, did
Yeah.
you see when the ball like hit his knee? Oh my god! I'm sorry. I'm not even giving my. I've not even given my rating then, but I can tell you already. That's when I decided on a 0. Like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no. To be honest, like just for that moment, I'm almost willing to change it back to a 0 just for that one moment. Because why does he not pass to Felix? Because last time I gave him the excuse, okay, it was weak foot. This time was on his strong foot. And Felix made a great run. Like
he had two runners, bro.
The pass was on.
They don't
and then he dribbles off the pitch.
Bro, he had two,
They just don't look up. They don't literally look up. They always got their head down. It
you know what I reckon?
infuriates
We should
me.
call Edgar Davids and maybe ask him if he has a pair of glasses for Havertz and Mount. Maybe that will help. Do you know what I mean?
They need some fucking neck retainer thing which like tilts their head up or something. Like I saw someone say earlier, I laughed so hard. They said like, can we just put Felix on like stilts and pretend it's Havertz for the next couple of games?
I mean, at least Havertz has the excuse he gets punted in the back of the head by elbows about 20 times every game. Mount doesn't even have that excuse. Do you know what I mean? Con, sorry, we might slightly have cut you off there. Did you want to add anything else to what you said, or are you just gonna leave the 2 and out of here?
I just changed my mind. I want to give Havertz and Mount a 1. Just talking about that is it's boiling my blood how blind these guys are. Stevie Wonder has better vision, mate. Seriously.
Hey, Stevie Wonder does definitely have better vision. That is for sure. All right, take it down. That does put Mount to a 0 because we had 3 zeros and 1 2. That's why we're at the 0.5. Now we do still have a 0, and Kai Havertz for the time being sits at a 1 with 2 1s given so far. Paisa will keep it to last because I will let you opportunity to rant whatever you need to say. Clutchton, I'll let you go first. Do you think Warren's just above the 0 just because he was better than the other 2, or do you think it was just as bad as the other 2?
No, 0. If you could go lower, then Mount would get lower, but you physically cannot go lower than 0. And I don't care. Havertz didn't play passes. He had that shot at the end. I'm not going to be as harsh on that as it is, but even then, it's just he has not offered anything. And it's starting to get really frustrating to the point where even me, who's like the guy who's like, yeah, I'm going to see realism here. No, I'm done. Give him a 0. I'm done with him.
Yeah. He created 4 chances, 1 big chance, 85% pass accuracy, which is more than Kovacic. But yeah, I do hear where all of you guys are coming from. I just think he was slightly better than the other.
His controller died when he was trying to dribble out of bounds.
God's sake.
No, he did dribble out of bounds, but the game is obviously 90 minutes long, so that's where I'm coming from. But hey, I hear it absolutely. Pice, are you going to give him a 0? Did you stick with that decision you made in that moment?
Yeah, no, 100%. More puff shots than Hudson-Odoi had. Like, honestly, I don't think people like. How do you not? I'm sorry. The cutback one actually is one I'm more infuriated about, and I know it fell
got blocked up.
I know, but it's just so
the shot was on target.
Like, if you're playing up front, bro, you've got to like. There's no like.
But when a shot gets blocked, it's just luck or not. You shoot on target, and then the defender gets the leg.
There was no power in it. There's no power in it. He didn't get
the power. I would agree, but the direction, the block is there. The block is there. You can't do anything.
No, I'm sorry. It's terrible. It's not good enough. Our other strikers, actual strikers that should be playing up front, would have got there and scored and put more power behind it. It was terrible. He was terrible.
I think that's unfortunately one that is a bit like when we said play Chalobah at right back instead of Aspi, and then we see Chalobah and we're like, oh no.
No, I don't know whether it's the Aubameyang
another striker instead of Havertz, but just do the same thing.
I'm sticking with it. His best work today.
I'm not trying to
his best work today was defending corners. Like I think he headed 3 clearances out or something. Like I saw someone
his best work was when he won the ball back.
Someone.
You mean after he lost it?
A good attack. I think Joao Felix had a shot in the end.
Someone tweeted out his defensive striker, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, like.
Yeah. It's like Giroud. When Giroud tried back heels in the box instead of shooting. Do you know what I mean?
I know what Pius is essentially telling us. He wants to bring back Lukaku. Fair enough. Let's do it.
Bro,
not fair enough. Let's do it. Absolutely not. not on my books anyway. All right then. Let's do the subs. Now we didn't do anything to start with, and then we all of a sudden made 4 changes at once. Well, we changed Jorginho for Zakaria, of course, when he got injured. And then we made a quadruple substitution in, what minute was it? The 79th minute. Cucurella came on for Lewis Hall. And according to Graham Potter, let me actually bring that up so you guys can see that. as I put this up on screen, and then I will also get to some super chats, which I have missed so far. I hope I haven't missed any new ones. But yeah, this is the comment by Graham Potter for after the game. Let me just highlight it. Potter are not using Aubameyang, and we had a back five, and we felt we should go to a 4-4-1, obviously with the man sent off. We wanted to use Ziyech and Carney to break from wide and Gallagher to break the centre because, you know, you're going to get driven back a bit. Okay, I'm not going to cry about him not using Aubameyang, am I? Do you know what I mean? I have to be realistic. Cucurella came off for Hall, like I say. Next, we got Gallagher coming on for Mount, I assume it was. I think so. And Hakim Ziyech came on for who?
I think Kovacic.
Kovacic, yeah. Maybe Gallagher was for Kovacic more so. But does it really matter? Not really, I would say. I would shift it to that 4-4-1 now. Obviously, we put Joao Felix, get rid of him. Ziyech was then on the right. Azpi was right back. I don't know how this was supposedly. How can it be a 4-4-1-1? Who played in midfield? I'm not sure if you guys noticed this today, by the way. On a few occasions, either Thiago Silva or Chalobah basically pushed into midfield and basically just put a second midfielder into midfield. On a lot of occasions, I think that's kind of how it was. I'm not sure if it was Chalobah or Thiago Silva in the end. I assume Chalobah just more likely. But yeah, in the end, we kind of had... Chukwuemeka came on as well, didn't he? Who did he come on for? Who am I forgetting? Am I being an idiot today? I really am. Oh, and Chalobah was subbed off. That helps, doesn't it? Why didn't no one tell me Chalobah was subbed off, boys? Gotta put Chukwuemeka here, and then Ziyech here, and then it makes sense. The whole formation thing. Good. Gallagher, Jorginho, Havertz. And at the end, we had this weird 4-4-1-1, which did exactly equally as nothing. The last four, don't even want to give them a rating. I don't have anything to say about them. Jorginho, does anyone want to give him a rating? Connor, start with you. Jorginho, does he give a rating with the star, of course?
How long did he play? Like 15 minutes? Was it like 72 minutes or something like that?
No, he came on in the 56th for Zakaria's injury, so he did.
He did. I didn't really notice him, to be honest.
No.
I'll be honest. I'll give him. I give him a 5.
Yeah, it's about where I would have gone. I felt we got some control back, but nothing else. But then again, we were down to 10 men. What else is he going to give you? Pice, are you going to agree with that 5 with a star? Would you go lower? What do you think?
Honestly, I was thinking about giving like NOs to all of them, to be honest.
But Jorginho played nearly 40 minutes with injury time, so the other 4, I agree. The others were
40 minutes. Did he actually play that long?
Yeah, 56 minutes. This when Zakaria came off.
I don't know. Maybe I just didn't.
We were down to 10 men for over half an hour because even Joao Felix red card was before the hour.
Yeah, like I noticed him on the ball a little bit, but like not enough. Honestly, I was not thinking enough to give a rating. So
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it's just maybe I was zoned out. I mean, the only thing I remember, really was from the subs was Chukwuemeka's pass to Havertz, which I was like, yeah, I think someone said it was behind him, but I said he should have controlled it. I don't know, but yeah, that's the only real thing I remembered, actually.
Yeah, you know what I want to say about that pass, by the way? It was such a good pass that nobody in our team ever plays this, so Havertz was never expecting that pass to come. Now, you can say he should control it anyway. That's fair thing. Like, he could, on a good day, he's a top player on the day. Well, he should be a top player for the money we paid. Let me phrase it that way. He certainly could control it. But when did you ever see a Chelsea player play that pass since Cesc Fabregas left the football club? So I will let him off for that. But okay, Clutch, are you going to give Jorginho a rating? I will agree with Con's 5 still.
I would also agree with the 5 because I mean we did get a little bit more control when he showed up, which is finally that's kind of what he did. I don't remember how many touches he had against City, but I think he had more in this 40 minutes than he did at that time. So.
Oh, probably because we had more possession with 10 men against Fulham than we did in the whole game against City.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
and I was the one who sent the passes behind.
For all of these players here, for flip's sake, ignore it. Anyways, Joao Felix, I'm gonna give Potter there. What are we gonna give Potter today then? I don't know because how much of this is his fault? It's a collective.
Can we give him like a
goal we concede? Obviously, Chalobah gets the deflection. Otherwise, like if Chalobah lets it go through his leg, it's an easy save for Kepa. It's not even a good shot by Willian. But obviously, Azpi beats Willian with so much ease. And then just the Chalobah block. We didn't even talk about that goal in detail as we should. But and then
we give him like
deflection, and then that goal at the end, Kepa, what can Potter do about that? You know, like you could even say, "Oh, play Mendy." Mendy's injured, so even if he wanted to play Kepa, he couldn't at the moment. And he's not going to play Bettinelli, is he? And then he can't do anything about Joao Felix getting sent off. So I don't really know. The only thing I'm not happy about is the fact that people like Chukwuemeka, number one, don't get more starts, and number two, at least don't come on earlier. And I'm still not a big fan of having gone back to a back four, like a back five against Fulham of all teams. So I'm going to give him like a 4, but because I just don't think too much of this was down to him. So that's why I'm not going to go like too low. I know people will probably want me to, but I'm not, because I think that's a little bit too harsh. Clutch, why don't you go first? What would you give him?
I don't think a lot's on him. I mean, you have what, 11 or 10 injuries before the game. Like, you had to fix something. You have Joao Felix. Joao Felix making a mistake is not his fault. I think he did put Joao Felix in a good position to kind of like influence the game. He gave him that freedom to kind of roam and do what he wanted, rather than giving it to certain other players that we normally give it to. So I don't think a lot of it was his fault. Like, maybe you could put Aspie or not use Aspie, but at the same time, like I agreed with the back three, because if you don't have the wide players, then it's probably not the best. And I'd rather not see Mason Mount at the wide position again. So I'd probably give him 3.
Okay. Clutch. C's. A 3 and a 4 for Potter. What are you going to give Potter? How much blame can you put on Potter on a day like today?
I am going to give him a 2. I think he's just as much to blame as the players on the pitch. I don't understand how Chukwuemeka doesn't start. I'm getting sick to death for seeing the same players start week in, week out, and this Chukwuemeka guy doesn't start for one. When we went down to 10 men, he was too late. He was reactive and he subs once again. With him, he just puts subs on and it's in Chalobah. That's all it is. Like, there's no plan to his subs. He just brings people on notes for the best. He doesn't.
Well, apparently, according to what Pai said there earlier, there was some plan. I'm just not sure. You wanted to use Ziyech and Khan to break from wide. Have you ever watched Ziyech play? He's never broken anything other than his own right leg. Gallagher to break into the centre. Have you seen him on the ball in the last 3 games? He's not going to break into anything except his own ankles trying to control the football. Like, sorry. Like, he might talk about a plan, but I don't know if that plan was creating a football manager. It certainly doesn't look like it was created on the training pitch. Can
I change my rating? Because Khan reminded me of like the terrible subs. So I'm going to go down to a 2.
I mean, are the subs terrible? What
when I criticize, I don't. It's
good enough to not get subbed off. No.
Well, my thing is, I used to do it for Tuchel, so I have to do it for Potter. The subs came too late. They were, again. It's just you have to sub a little bit earlier than that, so that's why I have to give him a little bit less.
So you're getting 2 now.
Yes, I give him a 2.
Okay, and Con, have you given a rating yet in the end? I don't think yet.
Yeah, I'm giving him a 2.
Okay, you also said 2.
If the team was a bit better, then I might allow it, but it's Fulham. I'm sick to death of looking.
Hey, like Fulham are in the top 6, bro.
Yeah, it's because teams like us can't perform, you know.
No, it's true.
Even better, Willian's in the top 6.
And I'm just happy for Willian, to be honest.
Can I speak about something quickly, Laurenz? Like, this double standard, right? I saw this tweet from Pies, right? It's about a video that Chelsea fans are saying to like Grandpa, "Oh, we're behind you, best manager in the world." But do you remember when them same fans went up to Sarri and said, "Oh, you need to do better" and all that? Do you remember that? Where's that double standard come from? At least with Sarri, we saw an identity. I would hope it's just
different people that do it, but
we saw an identity under Sarri. Hate his football or not, we can see at least an idea. What we've seen under Graham Potter, I tell you, some sheep and blind faith, man, it's a great mix.
I feel like we should have won today, though. Honestly, like I don't think we played that bad. I generally think we should have won. Yeah, I in terms of, I think we've seen much worse under Potter. Like,
that's true.
It's
just a typical game for us, isn't it? Like, we play okay in the first half, have a couple of chances. All of a sudden, we're 1-0 down to do a deflected shot popping in. Then we're 1-0 down. Then obviously we need to collect ourselves, figuring something out. Then we actually have a bit of luck for once. We get a quick equalize in the second half with a lucky goal. And then Joao Felix gets sent off and it's done again. So I'm not sure if we actually ever played well enough to win. But if the game just didn't screw us in every way possible, we would have won. If that makes sense. Like the performance wasn't awful in every sense, but it was just awful in too many moments, and that's the problem.
I think that's
like,
because of the
it
players.
felt like a
man.
Tuchel
I
game
don't
today.
think
To me.
that.
Today felt like a Tuchel game. Maybe it's the formation, but it felt like we're doing acceptable things until the attacking phase, except Joao Felix. We have control of the game, then we concede a stupid goal, and then we concede another stupid goal, and that's how we draw points. That's what it felt like to me.
It's more the players than the manager for me.
No, absolutely.
I want to give him like a sympathy rating, honestly, instead of just judging him. Because
that's
It's
what
a
I gave him
sympathy
4
rating.
points.
You take the
Definitely
job at Chelsea FC. You're in 10th place. What sympathy should you get?
bro, we've got
because
no,
I don't think
got 11
no matter,
injuries,
even
and
if
the
he
players-
was
I
Pep
don't care
Guardiola,
if
I
he's
don't
got
think
11 injuries.
even if
still
he's
have a
Pep
better squad
Guardiola, I
than
don't think it
54
changes anything
bars.
today. That's why the sympathy is coming from.
No,
Yeah, no,
you're in
I
10th
don't
place.
think
You've
it's
won
good.
1 in 11. You don't get no sympathy, man. No sympathy.
Yeah, no, but we're not rating the last 11 games in one. He would definitely not get a sympathy for that. But for the one-off today, I think a little bit of sympathy is acceptable.
I think a lot of sympathy, bro. The players made massive mistakes, and the Havertz and Mount were just not good enough. You have three.
And who picks Mount every game? Who picks
But
him?
bro, look at the squad. Look at the squad. If you don't play Mount or Havertz, Aubameyang or that.
Well, you play
why can't you
Chukwuemeka
play
instead of
Chukwuemeka?
Mount.
Yeah.
That is one that you can just.
But there's no guarantee. Chukwuemeka maybe should have started, but there's no guarantee he would.
So basically, Pai should say Mount has to start every game then. So I don't
No,
want to
I don't
say
want
that
him to
Mount plays
start.
every game then.
I don't want him to start at all. But
So then why are you making excuses then? Just say you shouldn't have started. Play Chukwuemeka then.
because it's not going to happen. I've gone past
Exactly. So
arguing
then
at this stage.
he's up for criticism then, isn't it?
Well, I mean,
The way
you
I
can
see
say
it,
that
as long
with
as
Jets.
3 managers keep picking Mount, I mean, he's Thanos at this point and inevitable. And I will rate managers when they do this because Mount shouldn't be undroppable. I mean, Gareth Southgate did it, and we all agree he's an idiot. So why can't other managers do this?
I don't know. I generally don't understand the obsession.
Mate, I don't even know anymore either. It's
I'm losing my mind with this football club. That's all I'm saying. I think I've lost like 1,000 brain cells, bro, watching Chelsea this season. I just feel dumb and dense. I don't understand my own life these days. I woke up and at like 8 a.m. and I thought it was 8 p.m, bro. I was all over the place thinking I slept all day. Bro, that's what Chelsea's doing to me, man.
Mate, it's understandable. It's understandable. Pies, just finish it off quickly. What sympathy rating would you give him? Because I don't think you actually ever said it.
As I said, I don't think he was the reason we lost the game today. So I wouldn't go too low. I'd probably go like. I'm trying to think of the things I was unhappy with in terms of the lineup. Chukwuemeka not starting is one of them. Yeah. I thought Badiashile should have started instead of Koulibaly.
Well, at least come on. Like, why not bring him on, man?
Yeah.
Like,
Honestly, I think, I don't know who said it, but like there didn't really seem to be any plan of bringing 4 subs on. I mean, clearly in his opinion there was, but kind of just seemed desperate. But we are desperate right now. Like, you know what I mean? Squad is just so shit, man. Honestly, they're so bad. I can't put it into words how bad they are. Some of these players. Rating, I'll go like 4.
Such a cop out, man. Saying the squad's so bad is such a cop out for the manager being, you know.
We need
not
Ted
good enough,
Lasso.
mate.
Bro,
We need to believe.
Potter can't make Mount and Havertz good players, bro.
Okay, man. Look how many.
Good try.
Last season, Mount scores in a game like this.
Hey, even remember when Lampard got sacked? Lampard's last league game was Fulham away, and Mount scored a last minute, like a late winner with a volley. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not saying
By the
get him
way, I'm
gone,
just
but
saying
what I'm
if this-
saying
if
is
this
like
was
we need to
Tuchel-
hold him accountable for how poor he's been. That's
If
what I'm
this
saying.
was Tuchel, a lot of our fan base would be saying the squad is shit. That's all I'm saying.
If this
we
was
didn't-
too cool, the fan base would have said that he needs to go weeks ago. By the way,
Well, yeah, because Tuchel then would have been here for 2 years. So, but that's not comparable then.
yeah, but then Tuchel never
how
had
do you
us in
think having
10th.
11 injuries is a cop out? Our injured 11 is literally better than what we've put out right now.
Here's how I kind of see it. I don't think all the players are that bad. I do think, like, on
Well, it's
average,
bad
our
form is
team,
a thing, you know.
yeah, on average, our team should and is better. But then there becomes things like nuances that come into play. Like having 10 injuries, which is the most 11 now, is going to be hard for anyone.
But the
I
ten
feel like
injuries,
that is
no, that's a facade because
They're
that was
key
only before
players, bro.
City, bro. Before we played City, we only had 4. It was literally that City game when Pulisic and Sterling got out. It
But
got
that's
up to
only
10.
2, so how can that be?
Because Mount as well dropped out. Mount's fit again, so we've got to take him out the injured. So it's 10, not 11.
It's
No, I
11
think,
now.
I think it would have been 12 if Mount was still injured.
There was
But
something,
also,
it would have been 5 or 6 injuries.
also, Aubameyang is back fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's 10 injuries
Someone on
that-
Twitter said
this
it's
is what-
11. That's why.
No, but it's just like before that City game, it was only like 4 or 5 injuries. Granted, Reece James is always a big miss to Chelsea Football Club, but if we can't win a game without Reece James, what are we doing?
We saw this
Seriously,
under
what we
Tuchel as well. You remember when Reece
But
James
we was
out under
third. At
Tuchel?
least we finished third. He never had us outside the top 4 all season, and we played a game with 7 COVID cases.
I think we're starting to see how important Rudiger really was to us.
But like, I don't think you can just say, "Oh, we played a game with 7 COVID cases." You're right, but we weren't in this bad of a situation then. So like, obviously, that's gonna like if you clean the slate and everything was like, I don't know, the start of the season, everything was good right now. These players would also play better. Like, take away who the manager is, even if we didn't have a manager on the sideline, even if you didn't have a manager, being in bad form, being in good form, constantly losing is gonna make everyone play worse. Like, that's how you often see when teams that get relegated. Even good players for teams that get relegated, as soon as they then leave that team or they're in a new season, they play good again. But they were awful in that relegation season because at some point it's just a bit of a, what's the word? Like, it's just a, once the circle starts going, like, you're just screwed. Like, once you're in there, it's so difficult to get out. So
No, I hear that, bro. I hear that. Momentum and form is a
Momentum,
massive thing in football. It's a massive thing in football. You're 100% right. But all I'm saying is, call a spade a spade. The player's been asked. The manager's been asked. I don't see why people have to get defensive about it. I'm not saying because the realistic thing is, next season, how many of this squad's still going to be here? Quite a lot. We can't sell all in one summer. So the manager we have has to adapt to this squad. And right now, I'm not saying that can be the case.
I think Potter's been bad in certain games. I don't think tonight was one of them. It was much more individual.
It's his reaction. I don't think he set up bad. I think we actually started well. But when we were down to 10 men, it's them moments where there's pressure.
It's down to 10 men against as much as we are bad. Fulham are also having a good season, right? So realistically,
just stick on an extra defender.
When you're down to 10 men, even with better subs, we're most likely not getting a result.
Bro, stick another centre half on and just go completely problematic. Like, why just settle for the draw then? Don't lose the game. We did.
Yeah, but obviously he needs to win, innit? So
But
that's the problem.
point
Every
is
fan
better
is
than
like, we
nothing.
need to win. Everyone, like, whether we lose
we was on
today, the
Sorry.
chat would be full of 1 win in 11.
By the way,
that's the chat we're full of, whether we're drawing or losing.
I was going to say we was on for a point until Kepa decided to be stupid.
Yeah, and that's not Potter's fault, to be fair.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like,
you can't pin.
But you also can't say. But you can't also say that they weren't going to go on to score anyway, because you don't know. Because after that, they kind of put on the brakes. There's a thing called nuance that just comes into this. I'm not going to say...
You love that word, don't you, Clutch?
I think people... I think
love
people
that
need
word.
to understand that a lot, because I think this fan base doesn't. I think it's just like people want to say black and white. This is the fault. This is the problem. And if we do this, it'll solve the problem. It's not. It's not going to solve the problem. There's way too many problems to be solved by sacking the manager, by getting rid of every single player, because it's just neither of those options are possible or going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. So what's going to give in this season? Like, what is going to give until something changes? I'm not even asking for the manager to be sacked, but something has to change.
We need our
Because
players
this form
back
is
fit, bro.
horrible.
Good players back fit.
But if you're a good manager, you have to adapt, bro. You can't just when I see people, it infuriates me when he says, "Oh, let's give him a fully fit team before we fully judge him." Why do we have to judge him on a fully fit team? You don't get that luxury.
Because these players are shit.
But players, you don't get that luxury all the time.
I don't think it even needs to be fully fit team, but having 11, most of which players that would at least be in and around the starting 11.
So just Reece James. So who else who's injured? Because Kante, you can't count him.
You can count him.
He's never had Kante to use. He's never had Kante
because everybody still brings up, look how well we played under Tuchel against Spurs. That was the only game that we had Kante in. So
I don't know, man. Like, I feel like people just saying like the injuries are just.
Chilwell makes a difference. Obviously, if Chilwell wasn't fully fit
Chilwell
before,
was not that good this season, though.
Yeah, but because he's still recovering from the ACL, right? So, but still,
Think of how many
actually
chances.
fully fit Ben Chilwell makes a huge difference. Right?
I don't know.
You have Rhys
I
James,
just
you've got Kante, even Ruben as a midfield option. That when Zakaria gets injured, you can bring on another big body. Let alone Broja. You know what a different. Like we all hate Havertz every game at the moment, and because Aubameyang is even worse, because we don't have Broja, we can't even play him.
No, it's one quick question.
Yeah.
Why Potter's been here? What players improved? Which one player's
No.
improved since Potter's been here? Exactly.
No.
Isn't that a problem?
But
The guy who's meant to be
another question,
developing players.
How
no?
many players improved in 18
He's
months?
hardly had any time to prepare for the games,
No,
bro.
no,
I think that's
Pies,
a bit
let
wrong.
me ask on this
like,
question.
like
Let me
2-3
ask on this
weeks
question.
ago, Pies,
How many
he was on
players
Potter, don't
improved
start.
under Tuchel in all 18 months, except Rudiger? Name me one. That's what I'm saying. Obviously, Mount and James, you can say, but that is it more not natural age progression? I would say in that time period that it was. But this is the problem, and I even understand people that say, "How are you comparing the start of Potter's reign to the end of Tuchel's reign?" I understand that manager bounce, people expect that. It shouldn't immediately be bad. You should only over time problems start occurring. I see that, and certainly he doesn't do things right, and certainly there's a 1,000,000% there's a what's the word a transitional period for him, because going from a Brighton to a Chelsea, that won't happen instantly. Like, as much as we would, people that back the whole Potter thing, it's only human that you're not going to be instantly ready for. Like, if you've never managed an elite club before, obviously you will need to get used to it. If you've, like anything any human does, if you've not done it before, you need to learn first, right? No matter what it is, you need to adapt to it. The problem that we have is that at the very same time as Potter's learning, Bowley's learning, Igbali's learning, we have every single person, like position of personnel in the club basically changed. We have a completely new medical team without a head of medical team, just some random celebrity thing. We've got Christopher Rivell, who's good, hopefully, at what he does, but he's still new. The same goes for Win Stanley. The same goes for the other guy from Southampton. Like, the goes for everybody. I think it's a case of where part of it is the manager doing things wrong. Part of it is the players being awful. Part of it is injuries. Part of it is there's so much transition going on that I think even if everything was amazing, we would still struggle. And I think this would apply to every manager. But I also think because of that, that's why it was a mistake to sack Tuchel early. Because when you change so much in the background, leave at least the manager the same. And then once you've changed everything else and they're settled, then you change the manager. Not all at once. I think it was too much at once. And that's a mistake. But you can't rectify that mistake anymore. That mistake's been made now. Because that mistake won't fix itself by getting a new manager. Because then the same problem will still occur, because that new manager is still going to be in transition while everybody else is in transition. So I don't think that fixes it, but it was, so it's pointless to cry about, it was a mistake to sack Tuchel. We know that by now. Not a mistake in general, but when it happened. The time of it, we know that it's a mistake. We knew that in September. Let's be honest, man. We knew that. So that nothing really changes. And I want to get through a few of these super chats because a few of them are kind of similar things to what we're talking about anyway. Luis Garcia makes a fair point. He says we was in bad form before injuries. Poor excuse. It's fair. But now it's an excuse. The thing is, though, that's why before that we didn't give an excuse. Now we do have.
Like Lauren, don't you think, like, when we was in poor form, like even before like a lot of the injuries, I think then I was more angry at Potter then, because like some of the lineups he was picking. I remember the Newcastle game, like, bro, that was just like the front three pick for that game, like Gallagher, Mount, and Broja. Like Gallagher, especially in that front three, like he wasn't playing Pulisic. We weren't playing the four at the back. He wasn't bending the youngsters. Like, that's when I was more annoyed. Like, it's very, very hard still to, say whether he's the right guy or not. But over the last few weeks, I've seen more things that I like, and it's just unfortunate in that time that we've had even more injuries. Because I'm not like I've not even. Yeah, like it's just every game there's something new we have to deal with. It's just like it's like a never-ending cycle. Like I don't know.
It is unfortunate. Yeah. I mean, Luis Garcia topped it off with another super chat. It says Klopp got third with 3 injuries. There's levels, but Klopp did get third at the end of the season when they had players back fit. Not all of them.
How many years did Klopp have in charge before that season? Like, the fuck is that for a comment? I'm sorry.
See, Pies, but this is the thing, right? Like, I'm not calling for Potter to be sacked. I'm just saying he's been arsed lately, and I think that's fair to say. And like Laurenz said, there's so many factors. Okay, that's a difference of opinion. I think he was, you think he wasn't. Okay, it's a difference of opinion. But like Laurenz said, there's so many factors into this. But it just seems like so many people just say, "Oh, this squad is crap," and that's it. They won't criticize the manager. I think
Yeah.
both. need to be
No,
criticised.
I've criticised Potter plenty. I just think the squad is the bigger issue. I
Bro,
take
but
that
at the
off
end of the
lot.
day, bro, how many of this squad can leave?
A lot if Bowley puts his foot down. A
Bro,
lot.
come on, be realistic. In the
No,
summer, how
I'm
many's gonna
genuinely
go?
a lot can leave if you look at it with
Bro,
context.
we've been trying to get rid of CH for like over a season. It's the wages
go.
are a problem. Who
People
can
go.
afford these wages? If we don't rate these players, who else is going to rate these players? Like, let's say Kai Havertz, right? He's a big talking point right now. Would you sell him? People say Bayern are going to sell him. Why would they sign him over Verts? Why would they? It's going to be more expensive.
Because
They'll
we
have to
will
pay
sell
more.
Havertz for cheaper than the Leverkusen will sell Verts for.
25
That's the
mil.
only
But then
reason.
again, it's like, it's crazy. Like, look what we let Timo Werner go for. There's no way we should have let him go for like 18 million. That's a joke.
I just think we've got to a point now where
Oh, what? No,
like-
but now, sorry, Con, but now you're surely.
Oh no.
Now you're surely going back on your own word then, because you're saying they won't all leave because we won't let them leave for cheap enough, and then you say Werner shouldn't have left for this cheap. But no,
Yeah, but
that's
at
the
the end
only
of the day,
way
like,
these players are going to leave. It's just
18
it needs to be
million.
more than just Werner. Is the problem.
Was it
18
20?
though.
Was it 25?
No, it
Yeah,
was
but
like
it doesn't
18
matter.
million
Like
plus some
we need to get
add-ons.
rid of them. The years before that, we tried to.
But
always
you got to
get
be
more money,
realistic,
and then we
Laurenz.
never
You
could.
can't
Do you know what I
just
mean?
get rid of every player for like a cheap price like that. You can't.
You
It's
need
not a
to.
sustainable.
What
It's
else
not
are
a
you gonna do,
sustainable
bro?
way to
You
run a
have
football
to.
club. Then say goodbye to like Casados and all that. That's not going to happen for too much longer. Where are you generating the revenue if you're not getting Europe? You have to sell players for a decent fee. Where are you generating the money for these players?
Decent, yeah, no, sure, but let's not forget that the club was sold without any.
What realistic?
So
Well,
that
Yeah,
puts us
but the
always in
way
a much
hold
the
on.
new
better.
FFP
What?
works is 90% of your revenue can't be more than transfers and wages. So it doesn't matter if we're in debt or not. It's about the revenue and how much we bring in. And if we're not making European football like Champions League, and if we're not selling players for high,
Invest a little
we're
bit
in
because
trouble, bro.
the
We're
revenue
in
you
trouble.
need to use to pay off debt usually, and then you have more revenue left over if there's no debt to pay off. So theoretically, but yeah,
Well, let's use a little bit of math. All right. So the three main players in the attack, at least, other than you, some people will say it's Mount. We won't say Mount because Mount's not going anywhere. He's not being sold anytime soon. So your three main players you're looking at selling this summer, right? Havertz, Ziyech, and Pulisic.
And probably Koulibaly.
I said an attack, so
Fair enough.
that's what we're doing right now. Is we're doing an attack. How much do you think you could realistically get for all three of those guys?
I think you get 50 for Havertz. I think you get.
Who pays
But-
50 for Havertz?
I think someone will take that chance because he's so young. I think.
But who?
And I don't know what clubs will come about. Clubs will get.
Because the only one that's even close to saying they would buy him is Bayern Munich, and they don't pay money like that. They're not going to buy him for 50
And I spoke to a
well,
big.
yeah, so sorry, yeah, they do.
I
They
spoke to a
literally
big
paid
Bayern
60 million
page, though,
for Upamecano,
Laurenz.
80 million for Lucas Hernandez. Yes, they pay money like that.
Well, lads, I spoke to a big
It's
Bayern
very
fan
rare.
page, and they said the likeliness of them buying Havertz is low because the
Yeah,
club
no,
won't
I
buy us.
don't think they will buy.
So then,
Havertz
if
anymore. It's
they
not
don't
now.
buy Havertz, who else is going to buy him?
And they need
Keep
a
in mind the
striker,
wage.
unless they want to use Havertz as a striker, which I doubt, because they
Maybe.
need a striker. They will need
But
to
it's that
spend
wage
big
is
on
the
that.
problem, bro. Like even if you sold them for like let's say 40 mil at massive price, that's really cheap for Havertz. Like who's going to pay over 200k a week wages? Unless
Well,
he takes a
there's
wage
some-
cut, but why would he do
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
That's the
players-
issue. That's why someone like Havertz is wage-wise maybe more difficult to get rid of, absolutely. But a lot of the players, you can easily get rid of a lot of these players. It's just you need to actually do it. I mean, half of them you can just let their contract run out. But no, we want to extend Kante's contract.
To be fair, yeah, Georgie and Kante, yeah, you could, and that's what I don't get. It's like these ownership really do need to take a blame as well because they haven't give Potter a good hand, and right now they're feeding him to the dogs by not getting him that right back and not getting him to that midfielder. He is in the firing line, and they're not doing anything to support him right now.
We need it. We need it next week, bro. We need it tomorrow. Fucking.
Yeah.
I need to see. I need to see good side like Felix. How you can debate the financials, but amazing signing in terms of the player's ability. Like I don't want
I agree. Yeah.
I don't want some fucking scrubs coming in because that's. I am worried a little bit now because I feel like we might be a bit. I mean, we need to be reactionary in the market. Like we literally have to be because we're so fucked with our squad and with our 11. Like the midfield. Who have we even got in midfield available now? We've got Jorginho. We got Kovacic who looks half fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got
Mount, who you
Loftus.
can barely mention.
You've got like Loftus-Cheek who is coming back from injury and
Yeah, he's probably going to play
like-
one game, get injured again.
I mean Chukwuemeka, yeah, but like we're
He's used as a forward at the moment, so he's even a
Like-
midfielder.
We're so thin. Like it's genuinely crazy.
Boys, let me quickly, because we've been going for a long time already, let me quickly get through these super chats. I'm not going to get you guys to react to all of them, but maybe just some of them. Swiss Daniel here says, yeah, bring this Benfica. Yeah, hello, Enzo, can we have this deal now? 120 minutes, there you go. Great, do business with you. See you later. That's what we need. That's what they should be doing. I don't care. They shouldn't be caring about anybody else other than a right back and Enzo Fernandez. And I'd still not keep two flying fucks. How you figure it out, figure it out. Figure out who you get him and you have
drop on the floor. Yeah, he played a game for Benfica. I think it was like last night or the night before. One of the passes he made and literally nearly made me drop on the floor. I was that jealous.
In fact, 105 mil for Enzo or 80 mil, 70 mil for Caicedo. I know
exactly my point. Exactly my point. And then you have Caicedo, and we will still cry for a creator who we will sign for another 60 million, and that together is way more than Enzo, who gives you both.
And by the way, like and Kunku's trying to know, like he's searching on Google how to reverse a signed contract as well. So that's another one.
Yeah, no, exactly. Luis Garcia had the super chat earlier, which I never mentioned. 1 win in 11, the entire squad, barring Joao Felix. And coach don't even deserve a rating. It's just an NA, and that's it. Well, maybe to be fair. He says 1 in 11. Why is it not highlighting? Highlight this one. Stupid thing. Why is it not highlighting the other super chat? Well, in the next super chat, there it is. 1 in 11 players aren't this bad for that shit run. Partly agree, partly disagree. Again, the players aren't this bad. The problem is half of the players are not actually available. And Jamie Drummer, appreciate all of the donations, by the way, guys. He says, this feels like VS Boas all over again. And let's see what people say. We have some more super chats. Bloody hell, I need to get through those. Thank you for the juices on my timeline. Stop player power, no more mercenaries. Thank you for the donation, Father. Appreciate you as always. And Harris Constantinidis, what a name. Shout out to Greece. At least your name is Greek. Maybe you're not from Greece. Mason Mount is not Chelsea quality. I mean, you spent a whole £20 on it, so, I might agree.
Jesus. Bro, really wanted to get that comment in.
Yeah. We wanted to make sure that I say Mason Mount is not Chelsea quality.
That one had to be read, bro. That had to be read, that one.
And then one last comment that I do want to bring up, and it is not super chat, but it is from a member. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to become a member as well, there's a join button underneath if you're on desktop, or link down in the description if you're on your phone. But Fantasy PGA Tour, I don't bring up you guys' comments enough, so maybe you need to just shout at me and tell me, bring up our comments. Do you know what I mean? But he asks, are you guys just happy to let Potter have this whole season regardless if we keep getting these kind of results? And I'm going to pose that question as honestly as I can, and I'll start with you, Con. Is there a limit? Like, I know you're not saying you're asking for Potter to get sacked, but is there a point where that happens? Or does that point, for me, that point probably only happens once we have a few players back and if it's still the same. If we say get to February and we have a few players back and it's still as bad as it is the last couple of weeks, then I might be at a point where I'm like, I like the plan that we have with a manager that can work like with young players and we have a structure and long term. But maybe we've just picked the wrong guy. Maybe. But I'm not there yet, but I think that point can happen. But I think only when we have a few players back. I think right now there's too many injuries to have a go at anybody. I genuinely feel that. I know you don't fully agree with that, Con. But is there a point where it happens, where it will come to you, where you're like, no, he just needs to go? Con?
Console Kai Havertz highlights. He's dropped out.
Okay, sorry. Well, Pies, you had the question. Do you want to answer?
For me, it's like, I mean, if we get anywhere near the relegation zone, like, throw him out the door. Like, if we're like 15th or something, then no, he's got to go. But this guy.
All I'm saying is by the dollar amount, we can kind of tell.
Bro,
should spend $40 on telling us Mason Mount is not USA quality, and he's from the US. Well, still a Greek name. If you're going to tell me your name is not Greek, we will have words, mate.
Yeah.
Sorry, Pies, go on.
For me, it's like, who do you bring in if he goes? Who do you bring in? Like,
I see Avram Grant chance. You guys know he's managing the Zimbabwe team, right?
Fucking hell, bro. He's like 80. What?
Hey, Zimbabwe probably.
No, but like, seriously, like, Luis Enrique, good tactical coach, but isn't it like the same thing in terms of like, just like, we'd have to have a plan?
Again, he has the worst win ratio of any Roma manager in the last God knows how many years.
Like, Pochettino can just do one. Like, I can't stand
I said this on Twitter. I'll say it again. If we ever get Pochettino, we'll dig my own grave and lie in it until he's sacked.
Bro,
Do you know
if
what I
they know anything about Chelsea, like they would not even like. That's the thing. When that worried me when they entertained Pochettino, like the fact he was on the short list.
You
Like
say that
they
Roman
know
entertained
Chelsea,
Rafa
bro.
Benitez. It's no different.
I know, but like, especially because they're new owners. Like, if there's one thing you like after Tuchel as well, like, are you mad? Oh my god, bro, that would have been crazy stuff.
Oh my God.
Like, but no, obviously sentimental side. If you offered me Tuchel back, then yeah, but you know,
You have
that's
another
about
super
it.
chat from him, by the way.
Bloody hell, Harris, you're not mental. But I mean, I appreciate it very much. Appreciate it very much. Poor fantasy PJ Toy is not getting his bloody comment up on the screen. Here's another 20. Hopefully, this could brighten up your day. It does, mate. It does. Appreciate it. I feel bad that it only goes to me and not the guys, maybe. But
Well, I'll
can't
send
even
you my
buy the
PayPal
drinks,
on
man.
Twitter. Yeah.
Don't even live in the same country as these guys. Hey,
I'm on my way to
Laurenz,
Austria. I just got to get my
hey,
passport.
come here for a drink.
Laurenz can you made what $60? There's 40 for me and Clutch for being so consistent. There you go.
Hey, I reckon, to be fair, I reckon that does sound fair, to be honest.
I'm still trying to get the one guy to come back that'll pay you $100 every stream.
Yeah,
for
I'm
me
still
not to be
waiting
on
for
it.
him as well, to be fair. Bro.
Bro, he'll be back. Don't worry, he'll be back.
Hey, hopefully. Connor, you here again?
Yeah, sorry.
All good. This question about Fantasy PGA Tour. Are you guys just happy to let Potter have the whole season regardless if we keep getting these kind of results? Is there a point where you will say enough is enough? Does that point only come when we have a few of the injured guys back, mainly Reece James? Or like say we lose to Palace now. Is it then enough? Palace and Liverpool, is it then enough? Or like do you have a point in mind where you're like, or is it just you don't know yet?
It's conflicted, isn't it? Because at one point you're like, I don't want to keep just changing managers because what can a new manager ideally do when he comes in? But at the same time, it's like I'm at the point now. If he goes, I don't care. If he stays, I don't care. I'm kind of checked out for this season, if I'm being honest. Like I just know that something's got to give soon because this can't happen because we're relegation form right now. That we're going to slow. If we lose the next two games, we're going to be like 13th or something. And you know, serious conversation needs to happen if that happens. If we lose the next two, man, it's not going to look good for him. That's all I'm going to say.
It doesn't. You know what I completely forgot about? Our poll for Joao Felix rating. The chat decided for 51% a 6, 18% a 5, 12% a 4, and interestingly, 19% a 3. So, you know, that is that. We will keep up
that democracy.
Yeah, well, it's democracy between us. Do you know what I mean? So we work like the Swiss democracy. Clutch, you want to finish us off? Is there a point where you're going to be like, enough's enough? I mean, Pi said once we're in the relegation zone, but I would hope it's earlier. For me, it's going to be earlier than the relegation.
So I want to see what we
I
do
said like
in this.
15th or something, bro. Like I don't know. I don't even know. Like for me, it's more about like who comes in. You know what I mean?
I think for the people in chat saying Zidane's never going to come here. So stop. Just get your head off that one. That's not going to happen.
Sit down, bro. Come on. Like he's like, nah, come on.
Right, he'd be out there boxing Mason Mount by the end of the night. Like I swear to God, that's what would end up happening with him.
Bro, he'd head.
Hey, but I reckon we should ask Zidane if we can get him as player manager. He'd be better than our midfielders. Do you know what I mean?
He'd play a
Probably.
through ball before Mount did for sure. I'm sure.
But
He'd do anything before Mount did it.
to kind of short and sweet, like I want to see what we do in this window here. I think it's very important if Potter gets his backup right back and then a midfield, and then you get a couple players back and we're still seeing ass results and we're kind of not seeing improvement, and we're seeing more reactionary kind of stuff instead of like taking a proactive approach to games, then I will actually.
I reckon so. We should just get Ted Lasso in, do a whole film. Maybe we'll make some revenue that way.
Bro, I'm telling you, I said this earlier. Ted Lasso, you got to believe. That's all you need.
Maybe next one is Jesse Marsh, man. Imagine we sack Potter, we get Jesse Marsh, the fan base would lose their shit. That'd be kind of funny. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's about time we round out. Before I round anything out, I need to, again, another special shout out to Harris. Appreciate the in total $60 donation. Shout out to you. Shout out to the US, wherever you're from, and to your Greek surname. Please do check out all my wonderful guests. The links are down in the description. Pice's website, of course, chelseafc365.com, Con's Twitter, Clutch's Twitter, and Pice's Twitter, all down in the description. Please follow them. Follow myself as well. We're getting ever close to 10K on Twitter. We need to sort that soon, ladies and gentlemen. But before you do any of that, follow any of these things. Subscribe if you haven't already. Big red subscribe button if you're not subscribed. So hit it so it turns grey, because, you know, We don't like red, except my hat, obviously. But anyway, hit that big subscribe button, smash the like button so you don't miss, well, so I feel better. Do it for that reason. And hit the notification button so you don't miss any future streams. But yeah, thank you to my 3 wonderful guests. Not thank you to Chelsea for ruining another evening, another week. Yeah, upwards and onwards. Thank you guys for watching. Up to Chelsea. And we'll see you next time.